Come on in, everybody, to the CBLOL English channel. Last best of 5 before we decide our final seed for the CBLOL Cup playoffs. And as we all predicted in the beginning of the season, fighting for a 6th seed in a winner-go-home match, it is Leviathan and Pain Gaming. Both these teams got here because they finished bottom 4 in regular season, quote-unquote. Pain got 2-1 by Cade Stars yesterday, and Leviathan beat Fluxu W7M 2-0. I am 4i4. That is Roodood. Roodood, you watched one of these series. How are we feeling about the Tradicionais going into this one? Because God knows this is not where they expected to be, but they wanted to be. You know what? They wanted to be playing important playoff best of fives, and they are.
If we change a couple of the letters, they are right. They're playing important play-in best of fives, and
You know what? Yep, there you go.
that's as good as it's going to get for them for the time being. Obviously, we can hope for better things from them for this series. I think if they showed, or if they performed the way they performed versus VKS yesterday, there are definitely glimpses of possibilities and successes. But I mean, Leviathan are coming off the back of an absolutely sort of demolishing series, where they were up against Fluxu and didn't really seem to put too much threat on it. I have put the little teaser trailer that they've got going on so they can still see us. And once again, in case you couldn't tell, it is me behind the mic and the buttons behind the scenes as well. So if things are dodgy on production, please just let us know in chat. Somebody will ping me, and we'll make it work.
Do our best to fix it. Yeah. But yeah, it looks like you might be getting right into draft here. Roodood,
yeah.
Leviathan choosing blue side. Already got first 3 bans as well, and nothing too surprising. But Tito's going to be snapping up that Oriana pretty much immediately. Enga, his opposite number on Leviathan, a deathless game a 1-death game. 8 kills on that one. He, all of a sudden, Roodood, again, look, it was against probably the worst team in the league. You know, caveats, asterisks, all that good stuff. But it really does seem like Leviathan have a couple of legitimate carry threats.
Yeah, throughout the split, we've kind of been saying, some of these guys are really good. They're really putting up some good numbers. I'm not sure that this guy's bad. I'm pretty sure that these guys are okay. And I feel like, with Enga stepping into this now and maybe being one of those okay players, maybe Leviathan can find a little bit of a success story here. Reminded that this is the 4th straight day that these two teams have played. They took up 2 best of 1s on Saturday, Sunday, Monday. They played a best of 3. Now the Tuesday to round it all out, they've got a best of 5. Just in case that wasn't bad enough, it's one of the most grueling brackets that you'll see in competitive League of Legends. So, a little bit of fatigue wouldn't go amiss here, as it's their 4th day straight on the stage.
No, not at all. But hey, this is when you got to clutch up if you want to be among the best of the best. And it's safe to say that I think, and maybe this is just a name value kind of coming in here as the Nocturne and the Cassante come in. Rise on the opposite side. Nothing kind of too surprising here. The Anivia hover for Enga. It wouldn't be. I guess my question is, have either one of these teams, really I'm talking about Pain, done enough to make you think actually they could be kind of on upset watch if they were to advance the next round?
No, is the short. Is the short answer, and I think I'm honestly putting more stock in Leviathan than I am in Pain Gaming. If Pain had beaten VKS in that best of 3 series, done it convincingly like they did the rest of the weekend, then maybe I could start to paint that picture in my head of Pain Gaming being back to their former glory. But it's not really on the cards for me. That series versus VKS highlighted a lot of their weaknesses. It highlighted a lot of VKS's weaknesses as well. It felt like they were just sort of pushing the truck over the line in that sense. But worth mentioning that Leviathan, for me, the more consistent team throughout the split, and for me, the expected victors going into just today.
All right, so there you have it. There's Roodood's prediction. I sort of to represent both sides of it, and sort of because I can't seem to shake that surely this team must be better than what they have shown so far. I'm going to go with Pain. I don't think they'll make it easy. I think even if we get a Pain 2-0, it's going to come with a couple of what in God's green earth was that moments, because they don't seem to have shaken that. But I do think Pain are going to take the dub. But again, if Leviathan take it, it wouldn't necessarily surprise me, because yes, it was just against Fluxu, but they did look really, really strong in those games. Those were pretty comprehensive victories. CEO looked fantastic. Enga, really good games on the Oriana and the Cassiopeia, and Devost as well. Looking like a legitimately versatile player. He's going to be on the Renekton into the Cassante. Roodood, what say you?
Taking a look then, at this draft, obviously Robo going to be one of those focal points that you already highlighted here. He has got himself an okay matchup on that top side. It's the exact same thing that we've seen previously in 2025 more so than anything else. It's the Cassante versus the Renekton. So far, it's a very pick up the ball and go composition for Pain Gaming. Leviathan, they've got a team fight composition as well with this Rise with this Renekton. But I will be looking at how well Leviathan can side lane and how easy it is for Pain Gaming to find those engages. So far, lots of tricksy characters on Leviathan that can get out of danger quite well.
Yeah, no, I think that's something to point out, right? Is you do have, it's a short range composition, but it is a pop composition that can be a little death ball-y. Now, as the Nico kind of comes in to tie that all together, she escaped the first round of bans. I know you think very highly of this champion, Roodood, and Bard and Corki will be on the other side. It'll be Kaisa that is the hover, anyway, on one side. But yeah, I mean, look, Kuri on this Bard, he has given and he has taken away. Again, I favor kind of what he can do, but you can't help but overlook the Nocturne as well, right? I mean, he has to be that engine. He's going to be that engine in the early and mid game. And he's got, there is no true tank to kind of go against. I guess there's no quote unquote bad targets to go in on if you are Carioca. But even with a mobile champion like the Kaisa, do you think that's going to be enough to kind of, dodge the Nocturne, for lack of a better term? Do you even think that the Kaisa is going to be the one with the big red target painted on her back?
I mean, the thing with this combo is that theoretically it doesn't matter who you are, dodging it is pretty darn difficult. If it's executed properly, Carioca Tinone should just be blowing up one person every single time. It revolves around the rest of Leviathan finding CC for Seo to use as an out, as an ulti. Maybe he can get access to that backline. I do think that Kaisa here in this situation does feel pretty bad, because usually you're relying on vision of the enemies, of your teammates, to get you access into the backline, onto Tinones, onto Trigger in this instance. But it's not going to be easy, and I think that this Kaisa last pick, especially into the Corki, is a very difficult position to put yourself in. Kaisa not the strongest laning marksman. Corki on the flip side, and Trigger in particular, has been very solid in that lane, and I have to call out the fact that you're putting yourself in a really tough spot here.
So doing it in and taking kind of the R5 quote unquote, obviously they're on blue side, but they did have last pick in this draft, so opting into that for favor of just the raw damage that she can output, obviously not to be outdone by the Corki. But yeah, that Orianna Nocturne, it's still a combo that teams like to go to. It does, I don't know if worry me is the right word, because again, I think I'm still blinded by names. Even as I say literally anything about Pain Gaming, I think, oh, they're better than this, oh, they're better than Nocturne Ori, as if you could be quote unquote above that. But Tinones, he's really good on these control mages, right? I mean, and so maybe I'm thinking, okay, well, they don't have to rely on a quote unquote gimmick, but maybe they do. And is it so bad to find something that could be potentially deadly, right? I mean, look, there's a reason that this combo is played, is because when executed, it's a delete button, right?
It is,
yeah. So look, it's win or go home. I guess there's no shame in stooping down to whatever depths, quote unquote, even if you even see it like that, to survive here. Again, this is best of 5 territory. So yeah, the prior 2 series yesterday were best of 3. Like Roodood said, this is day 4 for these teams of playing in a row. As Bookie going to find Robo here in the jungle. Don't imagine we'll see too many fisticuffs, but just kind of jockeying for a little bit of position. They do get that ward in by the Raptors. Do Leviathan. Very nice for the viewers at home. The blue team playing on blue side and the red team playing on red side. We'll enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah, that duality probably not going to be the same thing throughout the duration of this series. It was nice to see a little bit of a glimpse at that skybox here, where we've got Trigger versus Seo as the highlighted matchup in this series. And Carioca here, a little bit awkward, as it looks like his Raptor did do a tiny reset on him, but he's able to clear that one out, move up to his Krugs. And for me, it feels like Pain Gaming have changed dramatically since they've introduced this new AD carry, since Trigger has been able to come into the fold. Yeah. Even though it's only been 3 days, the fact that they found 2 wins with him, 3 game wins overall, is very impressive. And, you can take a look at this tri-lane box right now. It's difficult for the Corki, it would appear, somehow. This, Kaisa Nico lane, it's doing enough with the poke to make things work. And on that top side, looking at the Vost into Robo, it's a good-looking lane for Leviathan on both sides.
Yeah, certainly going all right so far. Carioca really not ahead, all things considered. But yeah, both these lanes able to get the push out. And of course, you're looking for that level 6 once Top Lob hits that. Kuri also with a kind of a game-changing ultimate, really. But you can't put enough of a price, a premium on the value that the Nico ult brings, especially in a composition like this, where you're going to have to rely on, I mean, you want to talk about gimmicks to rescue a short-range composition. What Nico can do with that flash ult is really, really deadly. Some might say ban or patch worthy, but I'm going to let you draw your own conclusions, audience. But
I'm
level
not.
6 is really
Patch this, change this. Proto Belt Flash Nico, not good for the game, not healthy. It's the same as Galio Taunt Flash. They removed it for a reason. Let's sort it out. Come on.
So you heard that.
Yeah.
I think I tend to agree. If nothing else, because of the precedent, right? Like you said, you can't do Galio Flash Taunt. It's the same principle. So if you didn't patch one, okay, don't patch the other. But they did patch one, so
You set a
but
precedent.
Anyway.
You know, we
Exactly.
gotta be consistent here, Ito Games, and thus far they have not been. But if we take a look at this game here, 4x4, I do want to take a look at the scaling aspect as we move later on now in terms of damage. Always going to favour a Ryze and a Kai'Sa in most instances, but we'll have to call out the fact that the execution for Pain Gaming does get a little bit easier, as now we see a little path up to this top side. Karaoke will take out that crab, and doesn't look like there's going to be anything else to find here. Top plop, he's a minion right now. Tinones gets caught.
Yeah, not able to
Oh,
not
dear.
count the minions. He's just dead.
Yeah.
And he's just dead. Did not count the minions. Top lop executed the lane gank perfectly. There's nothing more to say. That is a rough way to go down for one of the best to ever do it.
And it's Tinones' lucky day. There's an extra minion in his wave. Thank you very much. Nope. Wait, that's an eco, and you know that's a pretty illegal move. I mean, in the big 26, we can't be making deaths like that happen, especially when we should be calling out Nico missings and Nico not on the map. Hit tab. Don't have to count those minions, but credit to Leviathan, because not just for finding that roam timing, but I really like the way that they layered that CC as well. We are going to get to see a little bit of a glimpse of it as well. You know, it's not even like he's gone in on the first minion. You should be able to count up to 4 and sort of see what that looks like for Tino. She's getting a little bit caught. And then when this minion starts going invisible and pathing straight towards you, you really start to think there's something wrong.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to shout out the top lop as well, kind of recognizing that the spacing even was a little bit off for the 4 minions. That no, I have to be evenly spaced in the line. I saw I make that micro adjustment there. So very well done. And out of nowhere, Roodood, it's a 1,000 gold lead. Enga really capitalizing on that very nicely and taking really quick kind of tempo-y recalls. He's gone back pretty much with every single opportunity and come back with something positive. Devust, is he going to get that CC down? He got a little bit, but the damage wasn't quite enough. Robo, shield not necessary, but ended up being all right. But Devust certainly feeling really good about what he's got going in this lane. Up 400 gold, up, 2 waves, essentially.
Yeah.
And he's going to crash this one in here right now. Got himself a plate as well. Burning
2
TP
plates.
is Robo.
Yeah. 2 waves, 2 plates. My guy's sitting good on the top side. He's been eating well against this Cassante. I think he was actually, a hair's breadth away from finding that solo kill. I'm pretty sure he cancelled an auto and that his E didn't actually pass through the Cassante. If both of those things end up going through, the Cassante just crumbles as Curry now gets engaged on Buki, able to force the magical journey out. But it's all going well for Leviathan thus far, and they don't exactly scale poorly with this Kai'Sa. You can see Seo looking a little bit aggressively with those 3 plasma stacks. 1W going to look pretty good here, but for this, organization with such great successes in Split 1 of last year, finding themselves in this position for Split 1 of this year, not the greatest spot, but we know that they can come up with miracles.
Yeah, look, they have enough talent, and right now, I mean, look, you're with the greatest of respect to the stakes of this matchup, you're fighting for, to not be 7th place, right? This is not a position that either one of these teams wanted to find themselves in. But I think one of them weren't stunned that they were there, I should say. Or maybe one of them is stunned that they are here. And that is obviously Pain Gaming. And look, like you said, Roodood, they've looked like a different team since Trigger has come in. And he's had a couple of really incredible games since he's come in. So, look, you've got a legitimate carry threat, but right now, you've got to get the snowball rolling. Karaoke finally has hit level 6, took a much more efficient recall. He's up about 2 camps, but he's at level 6. Tinones has hit level 6, and Karaoke right now just going to play a little bit of defense. Devast does not have ultimate. Pop the Dominus at a moment that I did not see beforehand.
Oh, Robo, here they go.
Ultimate. He's got the summoners. In they go. Ryzold coming up here to try to help out. Flashing into the brush will be enough. Robo gets the kill. Enga not able to do much with that.
And it's just a nice gank on the top side. Devos playing a little bit too close to the sun, thinks he's got Enga in his back pocket, but that Ryze ulti takes a little bit of time to channel, and unless Ryze is right there ready to go, it's not going to be enough here. Now, Devos still finds himself up in gold, but that death is going to cost him. Robo able to withstand the pressure on the top side. Will lose out on another plate on that top side as Sayo and Trigger going blow for blow. Ha! Never mind.
And Trigger will come out on top.
That's
With
a big
little bit
one.
of help from Curry. Again, talk about flying a little too close to the sun, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he thought well, no, he didn't think he had top left in his pocket, but Curry showing up certainly, it shouldn't have been a surprise, right? Your supports are going to be on similar timings.
Puts a spanner in the works, and I think Sayo's playing in the mind, and you can kind of get this decision paralysis playing as Kai'Sa, where you've got barrier, you've got flash, you've got ulti, like you have all of these different tools for repositioning and shields that you kind of just forget to use any of them, or not sure which one is most optimal to use, and you get caught in that quite frequently. But for, obviously, this position, you can see he's in a really good spot, but he takes one turret shot there, and then it's just the initial burst, really, that comes from Trigger. I think even he would have been surprised.
Yeah, the turret shots definitely proved fatal. I think, like you said, it was a bit of panic, right? Once you kind of take that first turret shot and you see, uh-oh, I'm in danger, and then it just all happens very, very quickly to give him maybe a little bit of credit, but Trigger certainly capitalizing very nicely on the window that he saw. On the bright side, like you said, Roodood, you did hold on to both your summoners. Let's see if they prove useful around the dragon.
Yeah, and Leviathan, the ones looking to utilize that to begin with, even with that all but solo kill down on the bot side. It's still a gold lead for Sayo, still a gold lead for Devos. The laning of Pain Gaming definitely letting them down here, as Enger as well being able to benefit from that first blood onto Tinones. He's done a really good job at accelerating the pace of that mid lane. There's a little picture in picture shows Devos moving his way down, but 2,500 HP left on this dragon. Carioca goes in.
Goes in, gets the Cyclone up, and the Pampered Fate going to stop the health bars just for the moment, but gets another Cyclone off. Does Bookie. Might have been a little bit counterintuitive, but hey, Bardolph giveth and taketh away. It allowed them just enough time to get the kill onto the jungler, and that at the end of the day is all that matters. The walk away with the kill on the dragon as well. They might walk away with a kill here in the top lane. Dominus popped here. Is it too little, too late? No flash available for either one of these players. Robo going to miss the Q, but one more auto should do it. Robo gets on the board, and Pain Gaming rescue their early game back.
Oh, Curry's going to die.
Oh, no.
Surely Vision.
Oh, I didn't see this.
All right, that's
Curry
fine.
is toast.
That's not a problem in the grand scheme of things. I think giving kills to Sayo obviously a little bit problematic, but the fact that Robo's turned around this top matchup, it is going to be pretty massive. The fight that just went the way of Pain Gaming as well, equally as large. They do need to start putting their foot on the gas a little bit and making sure that they're actually in a good position to move into this mid game and utilize this Nocturne Orianna composition. They didn't end up taking the dragon, despite that being what the fight was over. And you can see Bookie has taken one of the grubs and decides he actually wants jungle instead.
And that is where he's going to head. Curry coming back through the jungle side of things. Get a little bit of deeper vision. Nope, no word was dropped. But through the tri-brush comes Curry. There's that deeper vision that we were looking for. Maybe you can get a Q off and delay the recalls. Yep, almost. CEO saw that coming. Able to step away. Trigger going to get some one-on-one time with this turret. And I would say some much-needed one-on-one time. Like you said, Roodood, the laning of Pain Gaming kind of letting him down a little bit. The team fighting has brought him back. But now you can recoup some of that gold into one of your most valuable members.
And I think that's exactly the point here, that this Corki doesn't particularly fall off either. I think there's a common misconception that, you know, Corki's not the greatest late-game marksman. And whilst he might not be the literal greatest late-game marksman, I think that his damage holds up in the scheme of things. As another Nocturne ulti comes down, and it's to make sure that they don't see the announcement of the dragon being slain or something.
And it was swiped away. The Scuttle Crab goes the way of Bookie. So, hey, it's on a short cooldown.
It is.
I guess is what I will cope with. But yeah, not ideal. Although I guess, look, no one died. And if that was what you were trying to avoid, okay, great job. As Trigger dumps a little bit of damage on the top loft. Carioca trying to just operate in peace in his own jungle. Bookie's got decent vision there. The CEO still trying to extend that gold lead just a little bit. No big items have been hit, except, of course, the experimental hex plate for Carioca. Rush that ahead of the boots on the Nocturne. That makes sense. You've got that movement built into your kit. You can clear the gap in literally the push of one button. Ultimate halfway back off cooldown as the top lane quest is complete. Robo leveraging that solo kill. Not for nothing, Roodood 2-0 here on this Cassante. Yeah. It's still Robo. He's built himself the Bramble Vest here early. Feeling really good in this top lane, actually. Didn't get off to the best start, but I think avoiding that first death, I don't know if crucial is the right word, 'cause it's not like Renekton can, like, he wasn't going to snowball to the ends of the earth off that, but that felt big.
Yeah, and you can see now how swingy this top matchup can be.
Yeah, no
you know, he's level 11 to, you know, DeVos is pretty much level 10, but he's still like 2 levels numerically at this stage down on the Cassante. Can never really fight. He's going to require a lot of gold before that is possible. Do like this from Toplop here as he makes his way in. Knows that Sayo can make his way in with the ulti if found and trigger himself. Doesn't die. Okay, good.
All right, he's good. He's good.
Always suspenseful with the Nico. Always suspenseful.
Yes. Yeah, not even those with a decade plus of experience are immune to that, unfortunately, as we have seen.
As proven.
Still, as we literally just saw. Herald up as the grubs were taken. I mean, literally only just one grub. So, I guess... No, the grubs are still there, right? The time where Herald hasn't spawned yet.
Yeah, grubs we've still got 2 of, but we've got 2 minutes to take them. And if neither side goes for it, then that's going to be it. Garioka here has got the ball on top of him. Tinone's looking to try and make good on the promise of a Nocturne Orianna combo. I mean, I don't know. I think they were just looking for Sayo more than anything. Toplop clearly not a good enough threat or a good enough acquisition of gold, but looks like Leviathan, again, have slowed the roll of Pain, who seem to have found their purchase in the team fights, but have yet to translate that into a global lead, let's say. Mainly just the 700 gold out of top lane that is contributing to this even nature.
Yeah, Carioca going to back for what I assume are tier 1 boots. Maybe a little bit of something else, but... Yeah, maybe just waiting for those first big items. The first big item on Robo as well, waiting for that Frozen Fist. As the first items have come through on pretty much everybody else, especially on the side of Leviathan. Yes, I think just waiting to fight on those more even terms, even though they do have the advantage. If they can start a fight first, they absolutely have the advantage. But, hey, same goes for the side of Leviathan with that Pop Blossom. Obviously, you know, CC layered in with that Cyclone. It can be truly, truly deadly. I bet we get the battle lines drawn around the dragon. But as I say that, Robo is going to recall here. Should be able to finish that item up. Now we shall see where Tinones and company want to get going with this. Bookie going to grab himself the grub number 2, and grub number 3. So that'll do it. And look, it's just another feather in the cap of this Leviathan composition. It's not obviously the neutral objective that it used to be, but still, you put a Ryze in a solo lane, you put a Renekton in a solo lane with those grubs. It's going to feel just that little bit better and allow them to close this game out should they get that lead that they're looking for.
Yeah, turrets are going to fall, and with the Ryze in the side lane, we've known him be a pretty big menace, so expect that to be the case again. Enga working quite nicely through the early game here, got himself up to this Rod of Ages nice and early, is looking to claw another advantage out of this mid lane as he, you know, actually moves down to that side lane for the most part, but 330 stacks on the tier. He's not feeling too bad either, working towards that Archangel's nice and quickly. Drake spawning in 30 seconds down on this bot side here, 4x4. And you can see that it is Leviathan at least attempting to find some purchase.
They do not find a Void Seeker, but their vision going to be cleared out here. Enga waiting in that Tribe Rush. In he goes with the Shockwave, not going to find its mark. Just a little bit desynced on that, just out of range, I think. If nothing else, Tinone's not able to get the ult off, so... There's your big engage tool. Tempered Fate was down as well. Leviathan holding all the cards in this one, you have to say, Roodood.
Yeah, that's not a good look for Pain here. If that first engagement of all of that hasn't quite gone right, that's kind of how your composition looks to function.
Yep.
And, you know, I'm just going to say it. I've played some normals with members of the CBLOL English crew. They've pulled off that combo before. We're familiar enough with the timings. There's no real excuse not to have put in a little bit of time to work out the practice and work out the timings of that. That being said, we have found the trade here. It is going to be a Dragon for a Rift Herald, so it's not all doom and gloom for Pain Gaming. I like that they moved up and found something elsewise, but they really should have been looking to get a kill there.
Yeah, it felt like they got a little trigger happy. That's what that looked like for me. Is like they saw an opportunity and immediately decided that was the opportunity. Kind of, and with that, didn't really think that through as far as actually, will I be in range to pull this off? Do we have the possibility that someone could flash backwards? And I think Toplop did blow his flash, so okay, you blow a flash there, but you know, Dragon was taken, and like you said, Payne didn't get nothing off that. But the fact of the matter is, the towers are still standing. you haven't gotten any sort of lead in this game, any sort of meaningful lead. And as we talked about, with the way these compositions are going to go into the late game, they absolutely have to. They need that big. You called it a global lead. The other side of that coin to me, you need a big skirmish win, if nothing else, to prove that you can pull this off, so that they know they got to watch their backs.
And hey, I'm just gonna say it 4x4. This game is starting at 9 p.m. for me. If this goes to the game 5, the distance, I'm not looking at finishing until 2 o'clock, and I need these things to be more entertaining than they are right now. We've just been doing little bits and bobs. We're 17 minutes in. I've had 6 kills, no turrets, a trade of neutral objectives. I'm struggling out here.
Yeah. No, I got nothing for you. I want them to be more entertaining, but like you said, I'm not going to be battling sleep after this, but I do have somewhere to be. But, you know, a little less important than getting to sleep. Robo finally gets the turret down, as you see the lead over to the side of Pain Gaming. To be fair, about 1,000 in either direction is the way that the range of that graph is going. Bookie going to get spotted by a ward here, but with no real imminent danger. Both AD carries have been moved into the mid lane as we get into the mid game proper here. Corey going to take a little bit of damage. Roodood, next battle line's likely going to be drawn at the Baron, but I mean, actually, I say that. I don't think either one of these compositions has the damage to rip a Baron at 20 minutes, so we're going to see some sort of skirmish here. Is, you know, where do you think, I don't know, where would you like that to be seen? Let's talk about Pain Gaming, if nothing else, because they are ever the protagonists, and they are the ones that, for better or worse, we've kind of had our eyes on in this game.
Yeah, I mean, both of these teams have really solid 2-item turn-ons, right, where you get the Muramana finish for the Corki. Shadow Flame for Tinones being picked up will be a really big boost as well. Same to be said for Leviathan as well. That 2-item Kaiser mark is where you really can actually start to look for those neutral objectives and maybe be able to sneak away that early Baron. So don't take that fully out of consideration, especially with a Kaiser. Her single target damage is pretty nuts, especially when you're looking at those neutrals. So it's not completely off the board, but again, the way these two teams have been playing thus far leads us to believe we're not going to get to see too much action unless it is prompted by a fight or followed by a fight, as we do see Pain Gaming looking to collapse 5 people now into this mid lane. Tinones has shown up from bot lane, Robo's shown up from top lane, and just a little bit of pushing action moving into the neutral zone, and they will be able to take a large chunk out of this mid tier 1 turret.
Yep, Herald crashed, so Pain did pick that up. Looking to be the more experienced outfit that knows how to play these late games out. They are not able to break open the map here, but Tinone's getting some alone time in the bottom lane as well. So little by little, they do seem to kind of be accruing these advantages on the map. Leviathan have looked a little stagnant in the last few minutes, really with not a ton to do. I mean, the only advantage they did get, kind of to further my point, was when Pain blundered their engage in the bot lane river, as CEO takes a lot of damage here. Might get collapsed on, but Trigger, if he's got his druthers about him, and I've seen him have his druthers about him. Don't know where he put them. Did he put them in the drawer? Hang on a second here. Karaoke is going to jump right on the top lop and is going to flash into the safety of the red buff. And getting the flash out of a support, not always the best thing. Getting a flash out of a Nico?
Yeah.
Worth a lot.
Very, very big here. And top lop now, without that, he's going to have to struggle his way into the next team fight, relying pretty much exclusively on the engage potential that a Proto Belt provides you. And slowly here, it is Pain Gaming that are starting to accrue these small advantages. Mid-tier 1 turret falling after top-tier 1 turret falling. We talked about their laning being the problem here for Pain Gaming, but actually as we've progressed into the mid-game, a little bit of support from Karaoke and some good fights in the early stages of the match have actually set them up for some pretty good successes. CO, though, goes back to base, picks up a full Rage Blade, so he's now also 2 items, as Trigger gets the Valkyrie away from Buki and isn't actually going to be in too much trouble. But now we've reached 2 items on the Kaiser, now we've reached 2 items on the Rise, we've got a little bit of safety built into both of these two. Let's see if Leviathan can look for something. With 5 seconds on the Dragon, it's completely within reason to expect this to be fight time. And, you know, we're looking across the board, pretty much everybody hitting those 2 item breakpoints for Pain Gaming, where Leviathan not quite getting it on their top side.
Dio stunned up here. Robo just trying to buy time. Kerr goes over the wall. Finally, the ultimate backup off cooldown. The combo does hit. Karaoke trying to buy some time with that. The ultimate goes off on Bookie. Not enough, but it does get Karaoke, actually. Now that I say that, the health bars are really low. You like to think that Tinone's going to be able to clean this up. Flashes forward, gets the empowered auto, plus that extra damage down. Realm Warp will lead Leviathan to safety, so it's a 2-for-1 at the end of the day for Pain Gaming, and they get the Dragon as a reward. Trigger might not be done just yet. CEO very, very low, as Kuri looking to potentially put on the chase here. Devost trying to play defense, potentially going to bail him out. Curry, with an auto Q, maybe that's enough, but not going to tempt fate.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you're playing Bod, you just walk up and hit him with a couple of meeps, that guy falls over like paper, but now Leviathan looking to respond in their own right. Tinones, he takes the turret, but will he be able to get out?
Doesn't look like it. I would not bet on that. Conqueror gets popped here. Yeah, will not be enough. And sucks to lose that. You do break open that bottom lane tier 1, so you push the line of scrimmage entirely back, but a shutdown onto the Renekton, not ideal, but not the worst thing in the world either.
No, and I think the DeVos kind of needed that here. He gets to go back and he had that second item finished, but he'd been struggling in that top lane. Down 1.1k and needed a little bit of extra sauce to pick him up and dust himself down through the definite struggle that he's been going through in this early game, as sort of dictated by the fact that Robo feels confident, giving him a quick little whack and an untofu strike under the turret before he hops out to safety.
Yeah, that kind of tells you everything you need to know about how Robo feels about his opponent in this game 1. Mountain Drake taken, so it will be the Mountain Soul up for grabs in about 10 minutes. Unfortunately, Roodood, I do think we are headed that way. How many kills we'll get in between then will determine again whether it was worth it. Is Robo going to chase top lop into the jungle just a little bit here, but as CEO shows his face, he'll back right off.
It's very game 1 here, isn't it, 4x4? Both the teams sort of feeling one another out, right? Setting the benchmark, kind of finding the pace of how the series is going. And in we go to the mid lane. That's how it's done. Knockwave, baby.
So much damage. Like you said, Roodood, that is exactly the formula. Rinse and repeat. If you are Pain Gaming, Robo able to get out of dodge as far as damage with the turret shots, but Toplop has bought just enough time for DeVos to potentially pick up another kill here. Robo flashing away, getting the shield down as well. That feels bad, but I would say a trade that is well worth it. Dominus popped here for DeVos, so maybe looking to get a little bit more out of it. Now don't have the tools, as Anga has hit 10 stacks on that Rod of Ages. The shield, the name of that, the stopwatch component.
Zhonya's.
Arm guard. Seeker's arm guard. Yes, there we go.
I just call it Zhonya's, man. We all know. It's all good. I mean, a little bit awkward for DeVos there, as he did headbutt the wall as Robo flashed over it. He tried to get a slice over it, and wasn't actually able to slice through the Gromp to then dice onto Robo and maybe take him down afterwards. But it's looking pretty good for Pain Gaming currently. They've got a 3k gold lead. They've now mastered the Nocturne Orianna combo, being able to use that to take out Sayo, which is really good. And you know, all told, there's not a lot that Sayo can do. You kind of have to hope and pray that they mess up the combo, or hope that you've got enough peel on you to get out of that. But as soon as Orianna presses R, hits that W, that's like 2/3 of your HP gone as Sayo. So never an easy position.
Yeah, and with, I mean, the Ludens plus the Shadow Flame, that is just so much upfront damage, especially onto a squishy target. There is really not much you can do about it. So, love the itemization here from Tinones to give the Pain mid laner here his flowers. Just raw upfront damage. He knows what his role is, right? It is to start that fight off. The Temper Fate not going to find its mark. Trigger is there for the cleanup and the consistent damage. Tinones knowing his role here. Second item has come through here for Carioca. Like we kind of noted, it's come through for just about everybody here. Not a huge item advantage to speak of in one lane.
They're going.
I say that Trigger has 3 items. There they go. Massive combo in. Trigger launching the big ones over the walls as the Cyclone just, again, buying time. And this is exactly what they wanted. A repeatable formula for Pain Gaming, as Robo with the DR will survive. Gets the shield down onto Trigger as well. Tino's taking a ton of damage here from Enga, but will survive. But if it worked once, it's going to work again. And Roodood, if they can keep doing this, Pain's going to roll through a victory.
Yeah, I mean, Nocturne Orianna doing pretty well here. It's definitely working out for them, and they found a 3-man engage on that. Sayo wasn't a part of it, so he actually did a pretty good job at keeping himself safe. It was only Buki and Toplop that actually ended up falling in this. This is actually way back to when they actually nailed it, so let's see how much counterplay you've got available to you. Oh, wait, it's 0. You're an AD carry. Get owned, noob. This is the second time round, as they look to do it once more. Ball goes on to Carioca. Managed to find 3 people there, and Sayo just not quite in position. That darkness working really well, meaning that he can't walk up to auto attack without knowing where people are. And I do think here he uses his ulti a little bit too happily. If he sticks around for one more auto, he can find Robo there with that plasma proc, maybe then use his ulti to reposition afterwards. But Robo was able to get away there, and that 700 gold that it would have been very well appreciated.
Yeah, no kidding. That feels really, really good. Pain Gaming now, though, firmly in control of this one. just dotting their I's and crossing their T's to make sure that they are ready for this Baron, as that looks to be the not trebuchet, the other thing, the battering ram. There's no kind of fancy medieval word for battering ram, is there?
No. The Trojan horse.
Okay. Yeah,
Different
I
things.
guess it's very unsecret, the Baron though. But yeah, no, spiritually, I think Trojan horse is, it kind of works.
You're just glazing me here. It was an awful analogy, and it didn't work at all. So I'll hold the L. I'm here to take it though, and what I will say here is that when we look at how Pain have sort of accelerated this mid game, it does kind of give you some confidence. This is a team that previously were completely lost in the early game and then would just fumble and lose. This time round, they were a little bit lost in the early game, but they didn't fumble and they haven't lost yet. So things are looking up for them, and they're about to hit even bigger breakpoints as well, with Trigger 5-0 and 2 working towards that Infinity Edge, with Tinones as well working towards that Rabadon's Death Cap. It does feel really good to be a Pain Gaming player right now. You get a little bit more gold, you're going to have massive item spikes, and those team fights, if they weren't close before, they're not going to be close after.
No. As the first tower, no, not first tower, second tower of the game, fine, goes down in favor of Leviathan, but just goes to show you how much the gap has grown here. Pain going to get a little bit more armor and MR, that 5%. Not that they really need it, to be fair, but just taking that out from under the noses of Leviathan, it's the line of scrimmage, like I like to say, right? Once you cleared out those first 3 turrets, 1 in each lane, the vision control that you can exert if you play on that correctly is it can be really, really stifling. That's exactly what they have done here. But like we said, the Baron is that next prize, Roodood. They've relinquished the vision control just that little bit, prioritizing getting that dragon. I don't know. Do you think they could have gone kind of a little more all gas, no brakes? I'm surprised that they kind of set it up and then kind of backed off it. Do they just not feel that the 5K is enough?
One of the things is that they can always go more gas, no brakes. Okay, that's just a product of being a 2 and 5 team going into playoffs, is that you're always a little bit scared of what to do. Enga caught though by that Tempered Fate.
Now the CC layering comes in. The lights are turned off. Everyone's in position. They get the shockwave off. They get one, but Top Left going to get himself with the Zanyas. Able to buy himself just a little bit more time. One down here almost as Robo taken very, very low. The damage just hasn't come through here really at all. CEO able to stay safe and fire back. They weren't able to get purchase on him. CC chain coming in, and Trigger is toast. Shut down for CEO. And that's why you need to make sure you got the vision. Because if not, that's the kind of thing that can happen. Now Leviathan looking to get that Baron started here. Carioca is still alive. He can still get over that wall.
Deep TP.
If he wants to. Wow, big TP, absolutely. Robo got back just in time. Another TP coming in here. That's Tinones joining the fight. Here, maybe a little bit delayed. Ultimate's not going to be up for this one. Going to go all out. Take DeVost over the wall here. Buying a little bit of time. Roborb comes in. Are they going to go in onto Robo? It's just a bit of a one-man fight here. Kuri and the rest of the gang has thrown up. This is falling apart for Leviathan. Their health bars are taken low. Robo is a one-man wrecking crew on one side of the fight. Enga pops the stopwatch just to delay the inevitable. Carioca on the board.
They're still going.
Leviathan had their window, and now it has fallen all to the floor. Curry going to get the kill credit. Pain punch back in a big way. They're going to get their recalls off. Leviathan trying to catch them in waiting, but Pain taking the smarter way out.
Yeah, so they'll all get back to base. And I don't really know what happened to Leviathan there. It felt like they had all of the opportunities there, and Robo just decided he was going to fight, and the rest of Leviathan didn't. I mean, they're still waiting here. They're still looking for the trap, and oh no, they just come out at the wrong time.
Now the damage taking Bookie really low to the gray screen. Top Lop going to get hit by the Tempered Fate. They got that back off cooldown. That Nocturne Orianna combo. Paranoia Shockwave. It's as good as gold. And at level 16, Roodood, the cooldown even shorter for Orianna. And now Pain. By hook or by crook. It wasn't pretty, but they do get the Baron.
I mean, that's maybe one of the worst Baron setups that we've seen from either side. I'm going to just say it right there. As Pain ceded all control, I do want to give Leviathan a little bit of credit, because they looked really well, and the way they found that opportunity was through a really good pick. They found access to Trigger, which was never going to be easy, but credit to DeVost as he found the angle. Toplop followed up on it and did a good job with that Nico ulti. But then afterwards, it's just complete carnage. So this is the problem with Nocturne Orianna, is Zhonya's, okay? Toplop uses the stasis and they null the impact of that fight. But look at how this fight actually goes down. It's a lot of tanking from Robo, doing exactly what he's supposed to do. But then DeVos spots this here. He knows he can go through Curry, look for that flash combo too, takes a kill without really any recompense. And then you have to think, well, what actually did Leviathan not do here? It's more so, how didn't they close this one out? Sayo didn't have too much mana, which definitely makes the game a little bit more difficult for him to play, especially with this AP style of Kai'Sa, not being able to throw out those Void Seekers, but double cannon minions now working their way through, triple cannon minions in fact. These turrets aren't lasting long.
No, and the inhibitor is not long for this world. Curry going to get the Tempered Fate down onto the clone, so not doing much there. As Curry, I mean, the threat of an auto queue, like you said, those meeps and the slow as well on top of that. He's kind of just playing bodyguard, Robo, and Trigger. Having the one-on-one time with that inhibitor, as Curry going to move himself up to the mid lane. Very methodical end game to this by Pain Gaming. Again, aside from that flub that, I mean, you can call it a flub, call it just counterplay, whatever. It was a bump in the road, and Pain of the Gaming have overcome it, and they just proving that, look, that experience really won out, right? Caught Leviathan just a little bit too unawares, being a little bit too greedy, and keeping their foot on the proverbial gas, to extend a mediocre metaphor from about 5 minutes ago, right? They got the rotations back up and said, look, if they're still around here, they're trolling, and that's exactly what happened.
Well, Pain Gaming will take their 2 inhibitors. They'll go back to base and they'll take a Soul Point Dragon to boot. Game from here should play itself. Those of you at home, you take 2 inhibitors in solo queue. Go to the other lane. Let the super minions do their work. And you go to that other lane that you don't have the inhibitor down in. Expect Pain Gaming, as you can kind of already see, to walk into this topside jungle. Start laying down some vision. That tier 2 turret is a foregone conclusion. And for Leviathan, it's about trying to get creative here. How are you going to get an angle into that backline? Create a space for Sayo to get in and try to take out Trigger. Because, I mean, I'm looking at these items here. Trigger is currently 3,000 gold up. He's got 5 items versus the 3 and some change for Sayo here. It's not looking good, but they have to make a stand at this 3rd inhibitor. And if they don't, then they're just going to bleed out the game.
Yeah, no, you got to do something here. And look, you've got okay pick tools, right? I mean, it all starts and ends with Toplop's ultimate. He's got Protobelt. He's got Zanya's as well, so you can extract maximum value out of that. Karaoke waiting from the other screen as everyone from Leviathan bunched up here under one turret. Karaoke going to show his face. There goes the Tempered Fate. Going to buy a little bit of time. Toplop using that Zanya's defensively, and that is curtains. That is not what the plan was. Shockwave goes out. Doesn't matter that the Zanya's was used. Karaoke, not for nothing, taken very low, but he does have Guardian Angel. Trigger, though, is just free firing. He's going to get a double kill. Going to turn it into a couple more here, potentially, as DeVos kind of going in with no fear. Taking Trigger pretty well, able to get in. Oh my gosh, CEO just grew a 3rd you-know-what and went in so deep, really out of nowhere, and it ended exactly how you would think. Pain Gaming gonna be able to wrap this one up. DeVos, prop the Guardian Angel, brother. Do all you can. It will not be enough. Pain take game 1.
By the book here, 4x4. Very solid game to start us off in this best of 5. Pain Gaming strike first. It is a 1-0 for them. Job not done. Still 2 more wins for them to find, but I'll be very happy with how that panned out. You can see the Pain ZJs here very happy with how that first game ended. A 12,000 gold lead, always going to look good.
Absolutely. Yeah, going to feel really, really good about that one, especially given how the early game started and the lack of confidence from the couple first Nocturne Orianna combos. Didn't really go their way, but once they figured that out, used that to accelerate into the late game, and then from there, the experience shone out. And look, Leviathan, they put up an all right fight, but this is a game that if you're a Pain Gaming fan, you honestly you got to expect to win this with the talent on this roster. With no disrespect to Leviathan, you should beat these guys, right? I mean, these guys, look, we've seen bits and pieces, right? We've talked on Gringos Liberados. Look, Leviathan, they have some decent pieces. They're not there yet. Pain Gaming should be more than good enough to take care of this type of opposition, and they do so in game 1 despite a couple of bumps in the road. Roodood, any positives from Leviathan you want to point out?
They had some good laning. They didn't look bad through the early stages of that game, but they did then have a couple of wonky throws and fights around neutral objectives that they didn't coordinate properly, and it costed them.
Yep. the mid late game was not terribly kind to them. They had kind of that moment there right before the Baron took advantage of well, they pressed their Zanya's button, which for me is 3. So they did that twice, and it seemed to have kind of just thrown a real wrench in the works. But no, Pain survived. They thrived. They move on. 2-game 2 we go again. First best of 5 of the year here. So we might see 3 games, 4 or 5. We don't know. But either way, we're getting into Fearless as this game goes on. So keep that in mind. But the takeaway is it's win or go home. It is do or die. Pain up 1-0 in this best of 5. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for being here. Game 2 coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Pain Gaming take it 1-0. We are already into draft. And like you see, up on the top of your screen, or in the middle of your screen, I should say, right above the draft, you do see the bands from first round of Fearless. And Leviathan going to be picking first. And on the red side, no less.
Yeah, and I mean, with that obviously in mind, we're hoping for maybe a little bit of a change up from Leviathan. They obviously wanted to take this first pick, and they've got something prepared for it. Top matchup didn't bode too well for them, despite the fact they had this Renekton into Cassante. After a little bit of time, it kind of got outscaled and didn't particularly do too much.
No, it started off okay, right? I mean, you saw the advantages that Devos was exerting onto Robo, but Robo playing that matchup very well, and once he got his window, boy, did he take it, right? Avoided that first death under tower, built himself a Bramble Vest, and Bob's your uncle. And it really was kind of went swimmingly for him. Still waiting on the third ban. It will be the Mbessa, so nothing too much to write home about with the Game 2 bans. As obviously the Fearless bans, they tend to stay a little bit samey. Bookie gonna slam the Pantheon here. Okay. Game 2 first pick.
Might not be Bookie, could be a flex.
True.
Something to point out. I'm pretty sure Toplop's got a Pantheon game locked in there somewhere, and I could be just completely making this up. But in my head, Toplop has played Pantheon, so I'm going to fact check that, and I'm going to leave you out in the lurch with that. He has, in fact, not played Pantheon at all. I'm just remembering things that didn't happen.
That's okay. But the flex angle is not a bad one. I mean, it could. Well, I guess if it's not support, we're not really seeing top or mid, or he could technically play all 5 roles. But,
I've seen the Seo Pantheon one too many times in my life, and it was in my dreams, and I never wanted it again.
And like you said, that is one too many times. It was one weird night where I was struggling with some allergies. I took Benadryl. I did not encounter the Hat Man, but I did encounter CEO Pantheon, which just as terrifying. Yunara slammed here for trigger for B1. What's the terminology we're going with?
First pick.
B1 or just first pick? Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, it's very sad, very boring, but it's been mandated here, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. That's okay. Vi gonna be locked in for Karaoke, and I would bet my mortgage that is Karaoke on that one. And joke's on y'all because I am renting right now. I have no mortgage, so if I'm wrong, I'm okay.
There we go. Your future mortgage. Don't tell the wife. We'll see if what I want to actually do is do a little bit of breaking down of what Pain have gone for here. They've actually picked these first 2 picks really wisely. They took the Yunara here and then immediately paired it up with a Vi and basically dangled the Aphelios fruit in front of them and said, you pick this, you're going to get an awful time of things by Vi just dumping on you every chance that she gets. So instead, Leviathan flipped the script a little bit. They go for the Xayah. It's a counter to the Vi, and it can hold its own in the 2v2 versus the Yunara. So it's not the go-to counter, but it's definitely not the worst thing that we could have seen out of that bot side. That being said, though, the Lulu getting locked in always instills a little bit of fear into the late game because Yunara Lulu can just pop off.
Yeah, that could be quite the demonic combo there. Rakan gonna be picked up there by Toplop as well. Rakan seeing that often presence enough, I should say, but now we're getting into solo lane territory here. Azir banned away. Tinones did win game 2 against Cade, even though the series didn't go their way yesterday. He did take that one on the Azir. Syndra gonna be banned away as well. A decently strong pick, and again, just taking that away from kind of these mid laners who have been around the block and back a couple times. Look, Enga hasn't really stuck in tier 1, but he did have a CBLOL appearance way back in 2021. I want to say I should have checked before I opened my mouth to talk about that, but he did appear.
I remember
in the CBLOL.
This was RMC's like favorite stat or favorite story coming into the split, and it ended up being really important for the final series. Enger and House had split time on a Rensga roster at some point, way back when, and they had to duke it out against one another yesterday to see who got to play in this series, which is really good to see that came home to roost. Gwen ban, are we picking Sion here for Devost? Entirely possible. Syndra ban, are we picking LeBlanc here for Tinones? Maybe. Who knows? These are just what these things are suggesting, and LeBlanc is looking a lot more likely. I kind of hate it versus a Xayah, but it's still looking a little bit more likely.
Yeah, I think Sion, okay, fine, right? Pick that for Robo, great. if we get a Tinon's LeBlanc here in 2026 after it's been control mages, it's been Galio, it's been all that stuff. I mean, look, for entertainment value, hell yeah, brother. But for other reasons, please, Jesus, no. Galio ban, and there's a Talia ban as well. So all these bans, 3 out of 4 being thrown at Tinons and Enga. Let's see who flinches first, if you will. So
who's going to get the blind pick?
Ari?
Well, that's
that what
fine.
We see on the monitors?
That works.
There we go. Yep.
That works, and I have no problems with Ari. It's not super mental pick that's going to warp the game. It could do very good things for the game, but it's not going to make the whole game about it necessarily. Now, for Leviathan, obviously, we'll see what it is that they look to answer with. They've got the opportunity to try and go blow for blow in terms of mobility. They are looking very nicely toward moving with a very defensive mid laner that they're going to need to deal with this Viari combo. There's that Scion that we highlighted. We knew that this Gwen ban was setting up for it. Champs OP, bro.
7-0. Whoa. I mean, I assumed he would have just lost one game, but guess not.
Oh.
Grab the Silas as well with some banger ults, I have to say.
Yeah. Hey, who do you want served up on the silver platter? I've got a cease and desist one way. I've got Ari ulti the other. I've got Lulu ulti if somebody else wants to go diving. Oh, Lulu ulti Scion. Stolen Lulu ulti Scion. I'm puking already. That sounds disgusting. Curry here locks in for Robo, the Rek'Sai top. So this is the LPL's answer, and I will say one specific top laner, Flandre, on anyone's legend. It's his answer to the Scion top. We'll see if Robo can pilot this, because this is not your tank Rek'Sai top. This is Titanic Hydra, Bruiser, one-shot enemy AD carry Rek'Sai top. So,
again, it's going to be a lot of bodies sent forward. And look, with the Scion, like you said, it's a good counter into the Vi. Pain have a lot of bullets to throw at the Xayah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to me, it feels like LEV have enough bodies to kind of take the chain one step further to throw in front of the Xayah or onto the Xayah with the Rakan, with just hard CC on the Pantheon, with Scion being Scion. But this is going to be a very interesting game of cat and mouse, because if CO does emerge as that threat kind of in that mid and late game, it'll be interesting to see if Pain, again, just how many bullets they throw at CO.
Well, I mean, I'd honestly like to think that the answer is going to be all of them. Because I'm looking across at this Leviathan roster, we've got Scion on the top side, not a damage threat. You're looking at Pantheon in the jungle, deceptively damage-oriented, I will say. Sylas can be a little bit tricksy, but it's all on Xayah here, really, this game. If the Xayah dies early, then the team fighting afterwards isn't going to be the easiest thing for Leviathan to look for.
Yeah, I'm looking at kind of the preferred builds for the Rek'Sai, kind of to go off your what you were saying. It does seem a little bruisery, but like you said, it is that Titanic Hydra, right? Yeah, so you've well. Yeah, should be interesting here. But for the rest of the draft, as I now try to recall it, because I have goldfish memory, Pain up 1-0 in this series, so instead I will just say what is in front of me. I do like this the skybox that they've got going here. The Demacia theme visually looks really, really sweet. But like you said, Roodood, this composition in the late game could be really, really brutal to deal with for Leviathan. And I cannot stress enough the buffet of ultimates that Enga has to choose from. And situationally, right, each one can be so deadly. Someone mispositions, you grab the Ari ult, you go in and just take them down. Stolen Lulu ult Scion. Oh my goodness.
That's the good juice.
That is so obnoxious to deal with.
How do you feel about Scion, who has a shield from his W, a shield from a potential Rakan, a heal coming in, and then also stolen Lulu ulti going on top of that? I, as any sort of AD carry, feel terribly about watching it.
It sends shivers down your spine. Yeah, you will get what's coming to you, whether you like it or not. Robo and Devost here in this top lane, though. Yeah, Robo, first time Rek'Sai in CBLOL. And like you said, it's been played or first time Rek'Sai this season, I should say, in CBLOL. Odds are he has played it in the past. In fact, I would, again, put my non-existent mortgage on that. Robo of all people.
I'm checking your mortgage status, sir. Pulling up the statistics.
Big Gaming hitting level 2 first, and they have no idea that Bookie is behind them. Oh, you hate to see it. Someone's going to die. Curry's going to blow the flash and sacrifice his life. Unless Trigger, he's going to take a really greedy path back. No, should be all right. First blood, though, over to Leviathan.
And that's a really nice gank down in the bot lane. And more importantly than that, 4x4's mortgage is safe. Robo has played 2 games of Rek'Sai in his entire career, and he's got a 50% win rate on it. Now Trigger on this bot side, also in trouble.
Yep, I thought he was going to just walk away, or at least not stay under the tower, because it's a Pantheon. For the love of God. Like, it's Pantheon Rakan. Like, look, it's not an automatic dive. These turrets hit hard in the early levels. But if you've, again, those blessed druthers, if you have them, you could pull this off. And now Leviathan up 2-0 in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, and importantly, both of those kills are on Seo as well. So Buki very selflessly here, managing to give the kills over. He tanked the turret there on that second dive, so makes sure that he's not really in contention of being the one to take that kill. Karaoke as well, wasting a little bit of time here on that top side. He cleared his full jungle, then went searching through Buki's top side, but actually Buki'd already cleared it out, so finds out that there's nothing really for him to do up there. And we're thinking that actually Leviathan got a little bit of sauce once again in this early game.
Yeah, Peyton, they might have had the juice in that last game, but famously, what you want between juice and sauce is sauce. Juice, that goes in the main part of the fridge. It gets used up really quick. Sauce sits in the fridge door.
Sauce is forever.
Sauce is eternal. Sauce, it might expire and it might kill someone or give them a bad bout of food poisoning eventually, but
you're not selling sauce to me anymore. You had me. You had me with its positioning in the fridge, and then you said it kills people. And now I'm not okay with sauce. Oh,
you just gotta watch. You gotta make sure the sauce doesn't get stale. Devost taken very, very low here. Not a ton of mana
returning to the scene of the crime.
Yep, they've got Karaoke waiting in the wing, so if they can stall this out, maybe they can get something back, but I think someone is going to die again here, as Anga, or not Anga, excuse me, CEO does have that Sheen, so get a little bit of extra damage out, and actually, I believe what the kill there is Trigger, playing that pretty nicely there. Curry providing just that little bit of extra oomph, and Karaoke making the difference in this one, flashing in to lock down that CC.
You did kind of Beetlejuice the mid lane here for Leviathan into that bot side,
yeah,
as Anga sort of crept his way down, and Leviathan trying to hold this freeze. Oh dear.
Oh no, Trigger's just dead. Top locked, saw the window and went for it, and that's going to be a 2 for 0. Curry is toast. Not long for this world.
Has no
Pain
flash.
Giveth, and boy do Pain taketh away.
Yeah, that's... I mean, you're trying to be tricksy here as Karaoke, but they're holding the freeze in the face of your bot lane. Just walk up and break it, ultimately. And now Anger actually with an incredible trade on Tiddos. Holy...
Wow. Looking at the item differences, yeah, there is that is just a really well-executed combo. Electrocute, go
Tiddos has more items. There's no
yeah, I know.
The item differences. Ah, yes. The one where Tiddos has more? Incredible.
Yeah, surely I can explain this away.
We do get another glimpse of what happens down on the bot side.
Roodood.
Yeah, well, I don't think it did, honestly. Toplop missed his knock-up and...
Yeah. Here it starts going well.
Yes, yeah. For Pain, this is where it starts looking good. And if you're Karaoke here, stop trying to be fancy. Yes, you have to back away because 4x4 is a demon who summoned the mid laner. But just walk in through the lane. You can't go for this long route and expect your ED to not just get popped.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because that's the thing, right? Okay, you got to kill back, but the gold hasn't been cashed, right? That is a revenue that has not been recognized. Yeah, the cash hasn't exchanged hands. I'm taking an accounting class right now, so Roodood off the break. So I'm looking for any way I can to shovel this in. You made the sale, but the cash hasn't been collected, right? You still have the item disadvantage in the bottom lane from the last time the enemy AD carry got 2 kills.
Man.
Not to be fair, this time you only got 1, but my point still stands. Yeah, they were going to lose that 2v2 all day, every day. Top block made of CC, helping secure that one. 1,000 gold lead out of thin air right now. Karaoke has hit level 6, not for nothing. And that will help out more than a Grand Starfall if a fight breaks out for this dragon. in just a
Yeah,
straight up
and
3v3 here.
Buki here, I mean, I'm a fan of this strategy. He's gone for the tilt trigger strategy here because he's just sitting bot lane. He's pitched himself up a tent. He's got his bonfire out, got some marshmallows on the go, and he's having a great little time of things. But it is coming at a cost. You can see that he's 3 camps down on Karaoke, who is level 6, and has his entire bot side coming back up alongside those double buffs as well, where Buki not quite been able to get that much gold. He's spent a lot of time down on that bot side. He's hoping that Sayo is going to be able to pay that forward, and that's really the investment that he's making.
Yeah, it's hoping that one's going to pay off. I didn't have any sort of finance metaphor ready to go for that one, but you could make it yourself. Come on, investment and whatnot. Backing off here in a much safer spot is Corey. I think learning their lesson, but this Leviathan bot lane, man, they're just ripping through this turret plating. They've got 2 plates. Robo proxying up in the top side, so doing what he does best. It's a little bit of deja vu from game 1. Is as the map falls apart, Robo is still kind of doing things, but the lead in the bottom lane is absolutely gargantuan, right? I mean, the thing with the Xayah, okay, the price you have to pay is that in the early game, it's not amazing in terms of raw damage. Yeah, you've got range. Yeah, you can kind of queue your way into some decent poke and a surprise rune with the Rakan. You get the added synergies, yes. But your AD carry is the first one onto an item by a long shot. And that is a gap that, look, Pain Gaming can make it up, but any fight that is taken with CO there, you really got to watch out.
Oh, here we go. Mid laner attempt. Oh my god, the chain went back for the searching Evelynn as Enga was really not able to stun up Tinones there.
No, did not quite hit its mark. Yeah, grabbed himself the ultimate, but not going to be quite enough to seal the deal.
I think he was probably running out, and he just thought, you know what, let's try. And he failed. So that's it.
And he didn't die for it. So
hold the phone.
Right. Oh man, they are just bullying this bottom lane. There's that Grand Starfall trigger, able to flash away. Stun lands onto Curry. He pops his flash as well. And now with very little recourse,
run.
They are going to get out of this mid lane or this bot lane turret. Buki knows that danger is impending. Flashes through the tower. I respect it, brother.
Yeah. And, you know, they could hear us, okay? They didn't see the vision. They were not looking at their mini-maps. They were running off of pure instinct and our willing them to do so. Never mind the vision that they had laid down in the bot side jungle, as Buki does walk in and Comet Spear away. The crab means that he's got a little bit more movement speed walking through the river now, and is actually still level 7 compared to Karaoke, who is in that same position. But Leviathan look for something down on the bot side that they don't quite find, but they did burn double flashes, so Curry and Trigger once again very much exposed down there. This time round, though, they have got level 6 on Lulu and a little bit more ability to withstand the firepower.
Yep, it's just one more button to push, but again, if they could pick a fight under, or have the fight picked, I should say, using the passive voice very intentionally there, under the tower, then yeah, maybe you've got a little bit more recourse should that go sideways. But yeah, you can see they've lit up that bottom quadrant, that southern quadrant of the jungle, completely in red. They've lit up the lane as well. Buki feeling very good, just completely safe in taking this dragon. First one of the game, going over to Leviathan, as the grubs will be untouched for now. But I appreciate the strategy from Leviathan, just bullying this bottom lane and forcing Karaoke's attention here kind of constantly, right? And every time Tinones clears a wave, he's got his eyes flashing towards that bottom lane, just making sure that no one is dying, making sure that his boys can withstand the pressure. It does seem like it has stopped, right? This lead has been, it's still been building. It's about 2,000 right now, but it's not gotten completely out of control. It's not gone full solo queue as Leviathan for CO, unfortunately. I mean, look, this feels like a byproduct of the quests that he's not really kind of like moving out and really like leveraging that as much.
Yeah. It is, and we'll reach 12 minutes, which is typically the break point. I mean, he's got 3 kills. He's probably going to get it a little bit sooner here, especially if he can whack away at this turret. But I'm expecting here, once that quest does come through, hold on, what on earth am I seeing? Sayo just went for a dive, I think, down onto Trigger, which was a little bit brazen.
Yeah, I think that's what he did. Both ultimates still available here. Doesn't have the pullback for another little bit here. Trigger getting decent damage down. Cooper popped. Tinones shows up. The right place at the right time. Caught Enga on a recall. Made a strip down to the bottom lane. They got a little bit of vision up there on that top side. Did Karaoke and Robo. So that should be enough to potentially set up something for these grubs and give them a bit of a way back into this game. should they get a purchase in the mid game.
Yeah, Seo there, I mean, he's kind of lost a little bit of that lead by going for that. I mean, I have to assume he just sort of walked through the turret, tried to hit Trigger and see what his damage was like, but I think Trigger did actually use Barrier. Trigger also used his ulti, so there is now a slight advantage there for the Leviathan AD carry, who goes back to base, picks up a boatload of attack speed, and will be able to work his way, hopefully, through the HP bars quite nicely, as seeing a little bit of an attempt in the mid lane.
Indigo's onto Anga. The CC chain is gorgeous, and it will indeed be enough. Tino's on the board with a much-needed kill to try to maybe accelerate this potent mid laner for Pain Gaming.
Good night. Without really anything else to say about that, that was...
Nope.
That was pretty clinical. In all fairness, there's not a lot that you can do versus REV, especially when you don't build those Merc Treads. Anga going to feel that one the hard way with those Lucidity boots, giving him, yeah, great, some lower cooldowns, but absolutely no way to withstand the tenacity, or the CC, rather, that the Vi and the Ahri can put down.
Yeah, like you said, it was layered beautifully. Really not much you could do about it. Not a ton of counterplay, besides, of course, building those blessed boots. As Karioka realizes he recalled on a ward. We'll go back to the safety of his base. Trigger could be the victim of a dive here. Not sure. Karioka, they know he's around there. He's got that Sundered Sky first item already built here. Trigger almost able to get a little more damage down. Does seem like the battle lines are constantly being drawn along this bottom turret, Roodood. They want this one to go down. This is, to be fair, Leviathan's most potent avenue, right? This is where they could start to accelerate this game. Well, and Anga and Buki spending a lot of time here.
Yeah, 4 people sort of sniffing around here, and they've got a TP ward available as well if Devost really wants to get into the mixer, as he has completed his quest as well. Now Anga goes into the mid lane once more, not quite able to find a good engage on to Tino's. Ulti was about to wear out once again. He stole it in an attempt to escape last time, but wasn't able to do so.
Yeah, not quite enough. Robo just out of range of that Q. The turret plating will fall here in just a little bit. But like you said, the quests coming through kind of on everybody. And now with Anga, well, I was going to say, now with CEO having completed that quest, maybe he leaves that lane, but he's the most potent threat to take down that bot lane tier 1. So I think he might be going down with the ship here.
Yeah, let's keep Trigger in that lane. Let's make him, eternally miserable, for lack of a better phrase. Maybe just put them in an overall winning position more so than they are right now. Would like to see if they can look to make a dragon play happen in about 30 seconds time. Looking for Tino's though. Good that they burn the ulti of the Ahri.
Yeah. A little extra mobility not going to be available. Tino's took Ignite. I didn't even process that at first. So fair enough, my goat. CEO. Gonna shove this lane in. Battle line's going to be drawn along the bottom river in just a little bit here. Vision advantage, obviously, with Leviathan in terms of that southern quadrant of the jungle. The river itself, that goes advantage Pain. But I mean, again, you just got to watch out for CEO in this fight. He's on an item and a half. I mean, well, I say that. He's up about 1,000 gold here, but Trigger, in terms of raw damage, he's on the same place.
I mean, this is where the AD carry quests are slightly throwing us a bit of a miss, as Trigger finds a very good trade onto Seo there.
Blop, able to get down with the quickness, gets the charm off as well. Kuri shows up, not gonna get clipped by the ultimate. Does have the wild growth, pops that onto Trigger, but it's not enough. Buki gets in, actually ended up being just enough. Would have been certain death if Buki got on him without the extra health from that Lulu ultimate. But now with a couple of key ultimates down, a couple members recalling, health bars low. Now Leviathan going to start up this dragon. I say that. Buki channels the recall. Karioka gets up in his business.
Ooh.
And the mid laners are having a tickle fight.
Yep. Anga not yet stolen the Ahri ulti, but you have to imagine that he's going to be looking to do that relatively soon here. And just like magic, speak it into existence. Tino's dodges away from the knock-up, and Karioka's there to support. He hopped back out over the wall. Looks like Leviathan have been able to start up this dragon, but 4x4, we were looking at the start of this game. Seo so far ahead, looking for a smite steal. Not going to be found, as a little bit of a wonky Q smite combo, but one that just about works out all the same.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Roodood, I've been a little I feel a little let down that this wasn't able to be kind of
the Seo masterclass.
Manage this.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, we got, like we said, we got this laning masterclass from CEO, and then nothing. Yeah. Okay, you've got 2 dragons, so bot side control, clap, clap, clap. great. You've secured that side of the map. Fair enough. But now, Pain Gaming, they're not on that much of a disadvantage. They start a fight here. The CC chain is lethal there onto Bookie. He does get his own CC down, but now Devosh shows up, not able to get the Q down. Enga gonna take Trigger out of this fight completely as Tittos takes down Bookie, but Karaoke responds with a kill of his own. He gets onto CEO. Zaya counter who? Enga with the stolen Ariel wreaking havoc on the rest of Pain Gaming. Robo is thick, but it will not be enough to bail out the rest of his team. Triple for Enga. He takes the baton and runs riot with it. Robo gonna try to get out of dodge with the abscond, hits it beautifully from max range. It's an ace for Leviathan.
And Enga with a massive team fight on the Silas here goes absolutely nuclear. We were expecting Seo to be the focal point, and all he did was buy cooldowns and get blown up. Massive team fight from the solo laners here. Devost comes in like a steam train and knocks up half of Pain Gaming. Allows Enga to knock them all down. And they finally get that fighter on the top side and around the sort of winning part of the map that we were looking for. Double TPs come in from both of the solo laners, and it does look pretty rough to begin with. Devost is here. He's kind of waiting, slowly buying his time. He's taking auto attacks from Trigger. But as soon as the people overcommit here, they know that they've got a chance to go. It looks like Toplop and Devost are trying to get out of here, but Enga's willing them on, determining them, saying, no, guys, we got to go in here. We can't just lose. Unfortunately enough, he made the right call, turns the fight back around, and actually does give a very good advantage back over to Leviathan.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely huge. And like you said, I mean, CO, he didn't really do much, but like you said, he ate a lot of the cooldowns. So you can see the attention was paid. And look, even if you have all that, all those kills, all that gold on you, if nothing else, it paints a target on your back. And if the rest of your team can capitalize on it, like the teammates of CEO did there for Leviathan, man, oh man, you're going to be feeling really good. And Enga, what a team fight from him. I mean, just orb walking all over everybody, just stunting on them on this Silas. And now all of a sudden, if you're Pain Gaming, you go, we've got two really shifty carries that have 3 kills each, and holy moly, 6,000 damage in a 15-minute team fight. That feels really, really rough. The Rakan doing more damage than CEO there. You saw.
Yeah, that's not good.
It's looking really rough. No.
Does mean that there's more damage to be gained. Oh dear.
Oh my goodness, what a read from Enga. Saw the vision there, had the vision down, and saw Tinones walk up. Said, actually, we can do something with this. Scares him off of that, but Tinones holds his nerve. Didn't have flash, to be fair, although, if he did, he might have used it. But now, the tier 1 goes down, and first brick actually over to Pain Gaming.
Yeah, and I mean, given the state of the game, they'll be absolutely happy to take that here. They found themselves in a pretty rough spot all told, but they've been able to turn this one around, and I say turn this one around. They've been able to find some light in the dark, more so, yeah. I think is the better way to phrase it. That mid lane advantage that we'd highlighted definitely was present earlier on. Definitely not the case currently. We're highlighting the runes here, so Ulti Hunter, Sudden Impact, yeah, classics.
Yeah, with that electrocute, a little bit of a sustain in the green tree for secondary runes. Yeah, nothing too crazy here from Enga on the Silas. It's kind of par for the course, as you would like. Dragon going to be up here in a minute. Baron up in, right now. Leviathan still only 2,000 gold up off that ace, off the CEO early game masterclass. Guess what? Everybody's on 2 items. He does have that little bit more gold. He's got the 2 components in his pocket. But Trigger, not anything to be sniffed at himself either. Going to come down to, I think, who's able to start these team fights off. But even as I say that out loud, Leviathan, with the tools they have to soak up pressure, should Pain push the button first, Leviathan have proven that they can kind of, they can be shifty enough. They can wreak enough havoc to be able to extend these fights out and just let the raw damage win out.
25 seconds on that Infernal Dragon. We'll see whether or not it's going to be enough for their tricksy playstyle to get out and into these positions favorably, with Devost back up with that teleport ready. Doesn't feel like we've had a teleport's cooldown's worth of time since the last time these two teams fought, but that's the position that we're in. It's the world we're living in the Big 26 here. But Dragon has now spawned a fight for mid lane prio, and with Pain Gaming having that mid-tier 1 turret being down, they actually have a slightly better opportunity to take purchase in the river here. 4v4 for positioning, with both TP readies available on the top lane.
Yeah, we'll see who gets there first, who's canceled their TP first. Scuttle taken as well to give you a little bit of that extra movement speed and vision. Dragon started up here by the side of Leviathan. Smites probably at about 1,000 here, maybe 1,200 as everyone has finished their Pokemon quests here. In he goes. Wild Growth going to buy even more time. The CC chain is awesome with the quickness on the back of it as well. Top
No
left
one's on
somehow
trigger.
gets out with a sliver of health. CEO separated from the rest of the pack. Gets the ult off, not even. In with the rest of the damage comes Enga. He is massive. Gets in there onto trigger. Both 80 carries die so quickly. Enga on the chase for Tinones. Throws out the E. Not going to find its mark. And Leviathan walk away with the fight win. It's a 3-for-1 and they get the dragon to boot.
It's all a bait here. Seo's just going in, doing crazy things, dying for free, and allowing Enga to run riot in the backline. And it's working for them. He's got the Shadow Flame, got the Proto Belt. 4v4 on the bot side as Robo just watches on as his team is falling around him.
Yeah, it's so rough. And I mean, look, again, bit of a deja vu like that last fight. Like you said, CEO kind of eats everything. And then Enga, with good positioning, it has to be said, delaying the entrance of Carioca. And after everything's done, he just goes in and mops up.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty criminal from Seo here. You want to put your ulti down first, get some feathers out, then you do the big flash play to pull more feathers through people. But this is, you know, this is good enough for Enga.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, more than good enough.
All right.
As Leviathan now with a stat. Man, every time I look up, I expect the gold lead to be bigger. But you know what? 3,000 gold lead plus the 3 dragons. Nice extra combat power there as well.
Down mid lane.
Wee! And Choo Choo through the skies here. Carioca just trying to clear some more space. Oh, right at the edge of the queue. That feels so rough. Curry goes down. He's the sacrificial lamb as everyone else escapes. Leviathan find themselves another kill. Trying to break open this map. Trying to get something done off this Roodood. They're up 8 kills. 3,000 gold. No towers just yet. They've got to make a big swing now. And the big swing might be in form of the Baron.
Oh, I don't know about this. This doesn't feel like the big swing you should be going for when you... Still got all 4 carries available for Pain Gaming, but they're going to do it anyway. TP straight into the face of Leviathan.
Bonk times it perfectly. Robo has enough health to withstand that. They can put a turret or a burrow down, excuse me. But now Pain separated kind of by a lot here, Bookie. Able to get the shield up. Not take too much damage off that. Yeah, Leviathan just they baited, dangled that Baron out in front of them, and after all that, oh, the charm lands there on the 80 carry, but no follow-up.
I mean, that's just... That's a bit of a nothing burger from Leviathan. I don't think that the wave clear of Yunara is that good that they couldn't have at least taken the tier 1 turret. That Baron was always going to be a bit of a stretch, so they were playing very close to the line there and ultimately didn't even manage to make it over it, as it's actually Pain Gaming who take the second turret of this game. The macro from Leviathan leaving me a little bit wanting thus far.
Yeah.
And Pain Gaming definitely reaping the rewards of that.
Yeah, absolutely. No Baron is a good Baron if you are Pain Gaming, because like I was kind of alluding to, I mean, Roodood, tell me what you think here. I mean, have you been as kind of underwhelmed as I have by Leviathan not being able to capitalize on it, or is it? Do you think Pain is doing something to kind of stifle that?
No, I mean, when you've got this really strong Xayah, you'd like to see just really any plays around her are going to work. Like another ulti into the mid lane. Tank, by the way. As Devost half HP trigger.
Yeah, I was going to say.
A little bit of damage on the way out there, but tier 1 turret, is this finally going to be the play? We've got Enga basing, but he's got teleport if they want to try and make a big collapse happen, and looks like all they need is Carioca to walk up menacingly, and that's about it. Now, looking at the inventories, Infinity Edge finished for Seiya. We've got a stopwatch, a stasis, a Seeker's Arm Guard, in fact, for Enga as well. So he's got that ability to go golden and actually stay safe, as Leviathan surely can put some structural damage down on Pain Gaming side.
So many buttons to push for the man who has kind of taken the carry mantle. CO, 0 kills since his early game rampage. CC chain, there goes the wild growth. And Devost is still alive, immune to CC. Almost got there onto trigger. Gonna get a little bit of help from the shielding. Gotta get away from that zombie form. That does a lot of damage, my brother. Man.
I mean, he's
a lot of resources expended there.
He forces 2 recalls. This might now allow Leviathan to, with this next wave. Never mind, I thought they would be able to try and take it. But, I mean, Pain Gaming here, I'm just going to be honest I thought that they're quietly even in gold now. This isn't how we would have expected this to go, but Leviathan cannot play the map at the minute.
No.
they are really struggling. DeVost walks forward thinking that he's got the support of his team, so he can, just break open that tier 1 turret, but that's not the case. I think it's live or die by this dragon. If Leviathan don't get this, I think they're going to be in a big trouble, as Carioca doesn't commit the cease and desist. Feels like that's going to be a better position to use a little bit later on. But 20 seconds, 5 seconds now on this dragon. If it goes to Pain Gaming, I can see them coming all the way back. If it goes to
100%.
Leviathan, then maybe they've got a little bit more time.
Would be an infernal soul, and they're looking like they need all the help they can get. Finally, the first tower of the game at 27 minutes for Leviathan. Pain Gaming, they grab themselves a dragon, and here we go again, Roodood.
All right, it's the Baron dance. This is an okay trade if they make it work, but 4x4, it's a very big if. Pain Gaming circling as Lev go in.
Oh my goodness, Corey just gets deleted, gets absolutely nothing out of the Lulu CC chain onto Carioca, as he gets nothing as well, has to flash out, and Vi Punch, his way out of trouble. As now, they get one member, they got the support, not the most valuable.
Yeah.
Buki down on ultimate as well, as he goes in.
But again, 4x4.
Things up here,
Let's contextualize this. Well, that's a quick trade, as I don't know that Robo's going to be able to get out. Looks like he's fine. But let's put this into context. With this extra kill, this is a 1-for-1 plus a dragon on the supports. And Pain Gaming don't do the same thing that Leviathan just did, where they throw around the neutral. Okay, we're chilling. This feels... It feels like we're watching two teams battle to not play 7th.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with you there. I mean, I do want to give Pain a little bit more credit here, because clearly, I mean, I want to give them at minimum a little bit of credit, right? Because I just don't, I feel like I have to watch this back a little bit more closely to see, like, okay, is it more Pain doing something to stop Lev in their tracks, or are Lev just kind of stuck, right? Just, I don't know. Is this League of Legends? Is this what I'm supposed to do, right? Because the lead that they should have built by this point should be more than this. And then Pain, I mean, and here, like with stuff like this is where you want to give them credit, right? But again, if you're Leviathan, you just took a fight. You don't have vision of that brush by river, right? You have Robo and Tinnos. They can clear gaps really quick. They can see C-Chain really quick, right? You got to be wary of those things. You can't be standing in those compromising positions right after you had an almost great fight.
I mean, for Leviathan now, they are confirmed behind in gold after Seo had this massive lead. Enga had these massive team fights, but they've just not been able to make good on particularly anything from that early game. And Pain Gaming now find themselves with a little bit of an advantage. And we've talked about the big item breakpoints coming through for Leviathan. Still have that Seeker's Arm Guard for Enga, that stasis. Still have 3 items picked up on Seo, who is quite far ahead of Trigger. But once that Infinity Edge comes through for the Yunara, once that Lulu has that, I mean, it's got 2 items. We've got Ardent Sensor already. This is going to be a problem.
Top Lop rips the ultimate, so does Buki. They get the CC chain down onto Trigger. He gets a little bit of help with the wild growth, and that will be it. I
mean, that was, honestly, from Curry, I have to say, pretty poor. He's leaving the ulti far too early there. You want to use it to try and peel. Use the wild growth as a knock-up to try and buy a little bit of space for your AD carry, but in fact, does nothing of that. And yes, we can argue that Trigger shouldn't be that far up in the first place, but we'll see. Leviathan, they found a pick on the AD carry. Do Pain Gaming want to contest this, or are they just going to watch it go down?
Oh, well, looks like they will watch it go down, but then they might contest after that. TP coming in. Robo, my goodness, just far too far forward. Carioca gets deleted. Robo next on the menu. DeVost coming in out of nowhere. He's immune to CC, and he is going to make it Pain Gaming's problem. Leviathan rip the veil from Pain.
I mean, you just watched the Baron go down, and then at the very crux of it, the very final second, you say, now is when I'm going to look to try and take a fight. The Baron's already gone. You're still down your AD carry. It's just completely perplexing here by Pain Gaming. They did such a good job, and one single pick just makes all of their ideas come crumbling down.
Now, Leviathan, back where they love to be, with a 2,000 gold lead late into the game. But now they've got a Baron. So should be a little bit easier to take that battering ram into the base. We're at 31 minutes. There has not been a tier 2 that has been taken down. Man, if Leviathan win this one, Pain Gaming are going to be kicking themselves for not somehow wresting back control of this game. A game that looked doomed at various occasions. As now,
There you go.
Bookie tries to follow up on the CC from top lop. That should be enough to take down Curry. Wild Growth's himself trying to buy maybe Karaoke a little bit of time to go in there, but it's not quite enough. He doesn't want to pull the trigger, and I can't say I blame him.
No, I mean, this is all whilst Anger as well on that bot side is working his way quite nicely through a tier 2 turret. Without really any contest, 3 cannon minions going to work and make quick work of that. You see how fast that turret's falling.
Man, oh man, that is a lot of damage. CEO.
Oh, we're going. Oh my
down,
god.
And he can actually pull them back right onto Karaoke. You saw the ultimate go down. You go in anyway. You get lit up like a Christmas tree.
Bro got popped. Like, that was instantaneous. And now with the Baron at their backs, Leviathan are going to take game 2 here, 4x4. It's a foregone conclusion. Trigger dead. Karaoke dead. Can Tinones muster something up?
He's going to need a miracle. He lands the CC onto DeVos. Bookie gets onto him, flashes away. They might have enough damage here. Robo just gets ripped through. That is a lot of health. But this late into the game, he falls like paper mache. Bookie going to take a tower shot. Robo's still somehow alive here. Does Tinones have another miracle in him? A lot of damage coming in from DeVos. CEO safe in the hands of the Nexus towers, and he will finish the job. Leviathan, man, wow. They won game 2, so now I got a best of 3 to decide who gets to continue playing League of Legends this weekend and who's got to wait until March, April. I don't know when that'll come back, but man, oh man, that was one of the games of League of Legends, man.
I mean, I think the nicest thing that we can say, and as quite rightly you did say here for Leviathan, is that they won the game, and that's about as good as it gets, because there were sins across all sides for both of these two teams. So yeah, not amazing things to say based on this game, but we've got a rest of series to go. It's down to that 3-gamer, and we'll see which of these two teams can come out with it.
Yeah, we're gonna take it to a break here. Pain licking their wounds. They did take game 1, and look, they made a fist of it in game 2. They almost had it, but then some wild late game decision making puts them in a hole where they probably honestly should be 2-0 up with the way they played most parts of that game. But hey, we are south of the equator. The rules don't apply here. 1-1 tie, best of 3 to decide it. We'll be right back.
do.
Welcome back, everybody. 3 more games to decide whose season ends and whose season continues. I'm 4x4, and that is Roodood.
It is indeed. Now, 4x4, the last game, I'm going to be honest, a little bit of a snoozer, so I'm doing some Manifest Destiny right now. What's your favourite snack to take to the movies?
Ooh, to smuggle into the movies?
Yeah.
Or to order at the movies?
Smuggling in.
Do you want the honest
If
answer?
you say spinach and yogurt, I'm about to throw you out the window, sir.
No, it's not. No, the honest answer is something that is is a substance that is completely legal in gummy form in the great state of California.
I see, understandable. Well, for me, that substance would not be legal, and I'm also on a budget, on a time constraint. I'm improvising, okay? I'm looking to manifest absolute cinema in the next game. I've got a bowl of cereal, okay? It's the best we could do. Okay. And honestly, bowl of cereal snack, low-key, late at night, this hits, okay? I'm hoping this hits in the same way that the rest of this series is going to, because like I say, after Game 2, we need a little bit of an uplift. We need something to bring our spirits back up, because that game, it sent us in a certain direction, and I don't want us to go that way again. So we're gonna lift the spirits. We're gonna carry on.
Do you guys, that side of the pond, use you put milk in your cereal, right?
Hell yeah.
Not crazy?
Yeah. Do you want me to get an even closer close-up for the people at home? Is that working?
Sure.
I can't see it.
That's fair. I see. There we go. All right, don't spill. Yeah.
Yeah, I was very close to spilling there. Hey, man. The things we do for the love of the broadcast. We are, though, into the draft 4x4, and I'm gonna take a bite.
Yeah, please do. As we get into game 3 here, deep into Fearless, we will get, again, at least 2 more games of this. So, Leviathan going back onto the blue side here. And Payne going to take first pick and take red side. So, it seems to be kind of... That's a trend we got the last 2 games, anyway. Bans coming through here. Nothing too crazy, although a couple of picks have gone through that weren't in the bans last time around, like the Azir. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw one of these 2 teams pick that up, although I don't think it'll be that early in the draft as it is counterable. Another high prio pick that we saw, yeah, there's the Lucian, going to get snapped up, and I don't think the Nami's going to get grabbed in advance, so I think Nami will be grabbed here for Payne Gaming to let Trigger and Curry go crazy on a tried and true bottom lane pairing.
Yes, it probably will be, but look at what Leviathan have just locked in themselves. They've taken Rumble as well as the go-to answer for the Rumble as well in the Ambessa. So that is probably going to be going into the Buki, into Buki's hands, let's say, as a jungle pick down in his name. Now, what is it that say on Top Flop respond with on this second phase? Most likely going to try and take an AD carry that can go toe-to-toe with the Lucian. I'm looking at maybe Misfortune as an answer, but that's not great versus Anami, I will say. So they're going to struggle a little bit here to try and find something that's strong enough in the early to go band for band with this Lucian Nami lane, whilst still having the ability to contribute later on.
I love the idea of going band for band with a Lucian Nami.
I'm not sure that I've used that term in the right context, but...
Oh, I think you've used it in the perfect context, right. If I'm going to be honest.
Then I've done very well.
Tino's going to grab himself the Azir 1-0 in the last series against Cade. And man, do Payne Gaming need a win here? Should have won game 2. I'm just going to say it. Leviathan left the door wide open for them to walk through it. And Payne elected to, no, I'll take my shoes off outside, actually. I'm also going to take my socks off outside. I'm also going to put the powder and the foot spray on before, the door's closed. Shoot.
Yeah. They decided to walk back home, if nothing else.
Yes.
Whoa!
Whoa! Okay. Zoe will be the response here from Enga into Tino's Azir. We'll see how the rest of the composition shakes out here, but to be fair, you land one good paddle star, and all of a sudden, with the carries that this Payne composition has drawn up so far, the fight takes on a completely different timbre.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Mikhail's now becomes an option for Curry, as they're going to need something to...
True.
Get rid of that sleep from the bubble. Very nice pick here. Definitely very vulnerable. We'll see whether or not Payne Gaming can capitalize on that. There's still a good couple of options for those junglers. I think Xin Zhao is something to consider taking away. If you are Leviathan here, obviously, we know that the Payne Gaming theory around Xin Zhao and Karaoke in particular, how that ends up playing out, we'll see. But I do think that if there's an element to punish or a way to punish, it would come through that jungle.
Yeah, you'd certainly like to think so. I mean, like I said, the Xin Zhao takeaway is there. I'm trying to think who else is available here. My brain's still in best of one mode, because I haven't really seen that many
Yeah.
series. Sejuani taken away, and
Yeah.
Kennen taken away there from Robo as well. I don't know about the I guess Kennen with the right jungler in this composition. But yeah, that's just a lane matchup that you don't want to be opting into, I suppose. Although I haven't thought about the Rumble Kennen matchup in years, if ever. Aphelios will be the button that Pain or that Leviathan will push here. Gonna get a couple responses on the other side. The Thresh still up and available. But other enchanters are available as well. Although kind of the premier ones, now that I say that, I mean the premier ones kind of have been taken off the table.
Yeah, I think. I'm not sure. I'm waiting for Pain Gaming. What they've got so far is some really good team fight. They need a little bit more setup now for that. And Kiana,
Whoa.
I think, fits both of those briefs. Currently 3-0 in the CBLOL, but I mean, for Robo on this top side, we need to see something that can stand and tank, really, more than anything else. It's just not anything.
Baby.
That is not what we needed. Okay, I'm here for the party. Leviathan, give me Pike.
I mean, yeah, like we're this far down the lane here. There's another enchanter. Okay, so as far as, I mean, with the Milio, I'm trying to think, how does it kind of opt into or how does it interact with the engage that Pain Gaming want to throw out there? I mean,
what engage, look, Kiana?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like, okay, how much value do you actually get here, right? If you get caught in a supreme display of talent, if you get bubbled up, but that's kind of it as far as the ultimate to be used for Milio. But although, to be fair, if your whole team gets knocked into a supreme display of talent, and you're the only one alive, and you're able to press ult, a lot of ifs, but could be kind of sick.
It is. I mean, longer the days of Milio being the bane of my existence as a Lilia one trick when I used to jungle that and just put everyone to sleep. Milio go no, and I'm like, okay, well, sick. Thank you so much, Riot. And hopefully Toplop can have a similar impact here. I mean, the Super Mega Fire Kick, maybe the best named ability in League of Legends, but it's going to do wonders when trying to keep Carioca away from the backline of Leviathan, because I'm looking at what Leviathan have got as well, and I was questioning their engage. That's also incredibly poor, so it is very much pick, poke, prod at people without actually trying to engage.
Yeah, and a ton of damage on both sides, it should be said. Just an absolutely disrespectful amount of damage, even with the Ambessa jungle obviously going to do just fine on that front. Aphelios, we know what Aphelios can do, and Zoe. I really don't think we've kind of done this kind of enough justice. And again, into the composition that Pain Gaming is running, you can just completely change a fight with one ability. Again, like you said, there's the Mikhail's counterplay and all that. Pain Gaming do not have the Milio to potentially wake someone up, like you know very well, Roodood.
Yeah, importantly, they don't have that tool.
Yeah, but I mean, these fights are going to be. Look, we're going to get a CBLOL series. Well, we're gonna get a CBLOL game. That's for gosh darn sure.
We've had a
like
CBLOL
you said,
series so far.
We already have. Yes, after that game 2, it is officially a CBLOL series. Capital C, capital S. So level 1 bush control taken very nicely there by Trigger using his passive. But yeah, no, should be a slapper. I mean, these team fights are gonna be rough and ready. That's for sure.
I've dealt myself a bad hand here. You're quite right that these fights are going to be rough and pretty scrappy. But I did I did the bit for the cereal, and now I've realized that crunchy cereal is really difficult to eat on cast and still be able to do my job. So it's just going to get soggy in the corner, and that is just a recipe for disaster.
You never want to be soggy in the corner. That's
some people do. Okay, and that's
usually look. Hey, in the big 2-6, I'm not going to shame it.
No,
but
exactly.
Usually, upon entering rooms, I find corners, I find sources of water, and I make mental notes of no, we don't want those two things.
Those two are not going to mix. Yeah.
No, not on my watch. Bookie getting himself up there again, piloting this Ambessa jungle into Carioca's Kiana 3-0, like you said, Roodood. Yep.
I just love the way Bookie walks in, stands. Yes, what are you gonna do? Carioca goes, I'm gonna run. then
I'm gonna do nothing, sir.
Correct.
Sorry, sir. Able to get all right damage down in the back end of that trade. We'll see. Anga able to get the shove in. Not really gonna do much as a level 2 Zoe, although again, look, the paddle start's based on distance.
Yeah,
and you've got bubble and paddle star. You can extend the range if you want to shoot that over the walls there. 2 flashes blown. Beautifully done by Anga. Oh, he missed it, but Bookie wraps it up. Thank goodness.
I like that Bookie was thinking about giving the kill over. He wanted to give the kill over. His mid laner just couldn't aim on a sleeping target, right? It doesn't bode well for the rest of the game, but for this instance, we can see that his intentions were in the right spot.
Yep, all's well that ends well. It all worked out. Yeah. No, the intentions were in the right place, like you said. So again, a bit of a similar movie. I think kind of in all 3 games, if I'm not mistaken, Leviathan have gotten out to a bit of an unexpected lead, just off kind of shenanigans.
Being better, I wouldn't say shenanigans necessarily. It's just understanding
Fair
what
enough.
you can do in the early game and some of the drawbacks of Kiana here. So Karaoke definitely finding himself in a pretty rough spot. He's going to try to invade on that top side and take away some of Buki's camps that he's had to leave up whilst he spent so much time invested down on this bot side. We did see double barriers used by our marksmen, so currently the combat summoners available are heal, and that is sat on Curry's side, so they might look to make that work. Oh, he's dead.
Oh. Yeah, he just might be... Well, I say that. Yep, he is dead. Okay, I underestimated the Zoe damage early on.
Yeah, and
so,
he's gone for Ignite in this lane, so he just walks up, finds a spell thief, and actually, just really solid play from this Leviathan mid laner who, I mean, throughout this series, really, has been doing a very good job.
Yeah, and I don't think we've kind of talked about it enough, right? I mean, we kind of glazed him when the Silas popped off in game 2, and that's fair enough, but like you said, just a quietly really solid series. And on a couple of different types of champions, Rooted, we made our noises obligatorily when the Zoe got picked, and then with half HP, Enga says, actually, if I hit a trouble bubble, you're dead.
It's a pretty illegal flash by Tinones, I'm going to be honest. Like, that's such a bad flash. Not least because you've already been hit by the skill shot. Secondly, because flashing distance only increases damage that Zoe does. Her damage is based off of the distance that her Q travels.
You know, when you put it like that.
So if anything, he should have flashed on top of Enga and made it so that he couldn't throw the Q far.
Hey, you know what? When Tinones gets into his VOD reviews, I'm sure his DMs are open. Someone as famous as him surely has DMs open. You can let him know that. Yeah, no, that feels really bad. Yeah, to lose the flash as well.
The most winningest mid laner in the CBLOL. Hey, actually, Zoe's Q travel is what basically.
Actually, yeah, this micro interaction.
Yeah, and he's definitely going to be appreciative of that.
Yeah, always looking to improve, right? Even at his old age, I think so. But yeah, not a stellar start for the paid gaming mid laner or bottom lane or start to the season for Pain at all. Something microcosm of the season. Great bubble by Curry, but not really anything to do with it. Dragging up. And will be fought for by whoever kind of comes out on top in this bottom lane. It's the one place we haven't really gotten much action, but the mid jungle of Leviathan, they're absolutely rolling. Now, Roodood, I mean, look, they won game 2. Despite their best efforts, they won game 2. Bubble, again, going to land there. Trigger going to hit level 5, get that little bit of extra stats. Curry, just not able to just really kind of slam the door closed on that trade. Bookie pretty low here. But,
he's got shields, and he has got Emilio, who's going to have to... He's going to have to come over here, I'm afraid.
Oh, no. There's no way, dude.
Top lop?
There's
Hello?
no way, yeah. Oh, more like bottom lop. Okay, never mind. He's fine. He's top lop. He's still top lop. All right. Whew. Okay. He was doing a 4x4 impression on that dragon right there. I'll tell you what.
This is one of those rare instances where my jungler is pinging me because they need me and not because they're scared and want moral support.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, no. This is going to go really badly for everyone involved if you don't hustle right now.
I promise I'm pinging you so you don't ping me. If you see I died to the dragon, that's going to be bad for everyone, okay?
There will be hell to pay, yes.
Yeah. All right, well, Leviathan starting out pretty strong here. This has been the case for all of the games so far, as DeVos is going in on the top side. No Ignite for the Rumble, so Robo probably going to be able to walk this one out. Has a null magic mantle to keep himself safe. Oh,
yep, and guess what? DeVos has heal cut. And I'm not sure how. Yeah, but hey, the raw damage was enough, and the Rumble train is getting rolling. So again, Roodood, to loop back around, they did win game 2. But they found themselves in a similar sort of situation here. And with this composition, again, it's a lot of damage. It's a lot of, it has good wave clear, actually. So do you think that purely compositionally, they're in a better place to play this one out and extend the lead and not put themselves in these dicey situations that they did in game 2?
Okay, I don't like either comp, I'm going to be honest. Like, these are all very difficult to play. Like, there's no tank, there's no real engage. So it is just going to come down to whoever comes out on top, whoever can play those little bits of fog of war that little bit better. They're probably going to be the team that comes out on top. And so far, Leviathan have proven that they are pretty garbage at that, and that doesn't bode well for them.
No. I've seen this zoom before. Ooh, just barely able to get out from the public execution. Saw the thing on the ground and did not. Oh, man. Nice bubble. Got 2 of them. And Bookie's engaged for the dive. Just goes absolutely nowhere. They're able to get potentially 1 plate here. Yeah, come on. Surely that's a little line I see, right? There you go. All right. Got a little bit of gold back.
Gumbo.
As, man. Oh, my goodness. Just barely with the sniper plus the chakrams. Not enough. Trigger does have level 6 here.
4x4, I also have to do a quick little thought experiment, okay? If you had to remember any celebrity based off of Zoe's E ability, who would it be?
A celebrity based off Sleepy Trouble Bubble. Although I imagine you said E ability very intentionally.
I did.
Snorlax.
Oh, that's a Pokemon. That's not a celebrity. I mean, maybe in its
own
right.
I think he's both.
Well, sure. You see, for me, whenever I hear Buble, or Bubble, I think Buble. Okay. So,
yes.
You know if you randomly hear me say Michael at some point in this game, you know why.
My Brazilian mother loves Michael Bublé, and when we were kids, we gave her endless amounts of crap because she called him Michael Bubble the first time she had to say it out loud.
Amazing.
And so we didn't quite let her live that one down. So now we just call him Michael Bubble. Went to see him in Las Vegas a few years ago as well.
You're just screaming Bubble while everybody else is excited.
Yeah, exactly. And he had an ad campaign with I think the brand was called Bubbly. It was like some spritzy health drink. And so yeah. But yeah, so Michael, okay, I'll be on the lookout. Thank you.
And you know, people used to say like Kobe when people like toss something really well.
Yeah.
If there's a good bubble that lands, we can go Michael and
Michael. There you go.
it works. That's the hope.
I'm in favor, right? You got to start it somewhere. Yes, true. Absolutely. Backing on award there are Robo and Karaoke. But will anything come of it? Just a delayed recall. That's all that's going to come of it.
I think DeVos knows, and that's my. That's again. CJ will tell you.
But what do we know?
I've been on a heater with analysis recently. I think he knew about that.
Yeah, should be enough here. DeVos going to back off, and Karaoke. Again, well, I mean, there's not deep vision to show that he wouldn't show anywhere else. But Karaoke certainly wasting a good bit of time here. He's down a lot as the Calibrum and the hold on.
Infernum and the Gravitum 4x4.
Infernum, there we go. Yep, it's been too long, dude.
Yeah, the Aphelios gun names. Honestly, I'm surprised I know them.
The Calibrum is
green.
I'm not even gonna try. No, Calibrum is green. Yes, Calibrum is. Yeah, and I'm not even gonna try the rest for.
Severum is red. He's got Infernum and Gravitum at the minute, and then he's got Crescendum, I want to say.
Crescendum, yes. Yes, I knew the white one was weird.
Yes. That's our Aphelios.
That's a Moonlight Vigil, and with these 2 guns, that can be particularly deadly, as you saw there.
We're just going to not even colors. Just these 2. General casting consensus is the colors are fine. 4x4, nah, I've lost all confidence. I'm not even sure of the color wheel anymore.
It's not been a great 5 seconds for me. Is it hot in here, or is it just? Oh wow. Dragon gonna be started
one of those cinema snacks.
My Leviathan, yeah. Yeah, I had one of the special brownies before this. I did not, just for the record. Also, because I have to drive after the series is over, and we don't want that.
No.
But after all the fireworks of the first few minutes, again, we found ourselves in a spot here where Leviathan have again taken the first 2 dragons.
Yeah.
But after this is where things need to change. Especially after the role quests come in, because that's where you get locked in a lane. Okay, this is how Riot wants you to play the game. They want you to stay in your lane, literally, until about this mark, as the culling does go out. That does absolutely nothing.
Hey, and that's been the trend for Trigger so far with these cullings, I'm going to be honest. They've been They've been very underwhelming. I don't need a better term. It describes it perfectly. So I think it's important to highlight here. 4v4 been taking a little bit of creative liberty with the term casting in this game, but it's because nothing's happened so far. People at home, I'm more than happy to commentate about the game. This is, as 4v4 mentioned, a rinse and repeat of the past 2 games. If you want to go back in the VOD and hear what I said then, please do. But for the time being, we're going to have a little bit more fun with it. When things that are important are happening, we'll let you know. Maybe we can talk about how LEV want to change things up. Maybe we can talk about how Pain Gaming are good at stabilizing. But it's the same things we mentioned a little bit earlier on, and this time it's just different champions put into that place.
Heroic are going to try to get something going here. He will be spotted by that ward in the tri-brush, though, whether he knows it or not. But DeVos, he's got... Yeah, I was going to say, he gets the ultimate down, actually able to flash away from the true display of talent, and in goes Bookie, able to get one back here. 2 kills, but the shutdown does go over to Robo, so a 2-for-1 in favor of Leviathan.
Yeah, that's a really solid play down up on the top side. Bookie and DeVos synchronizing very nicely. A great flash from the Rumble, keeps him from getting caught in the Kiana CC chain, also puts him just a little bit further out of Robo's range. And from there as well, the fact that Bookie actually got a ulti there that landed onto Robo instead is really good. Calling, though, looking to have impact.
Much better this time, to be fair, but...
Stop Seos emoting on him, though, which is emotional damage.
No, which, yes, absolutely. You have to weigh that, all things considered. And a tower shot, which promptly gets healed up by Corey. Getting another replay of this one. A lot happened in a very small span of time, but 2 big ultimates go out, and this one crucially does not hit.
Yeah, again, the Kiana ulti going wide is pretty important, and this nice suppression there under the turret by Bookie, again, pretty much signs the fate of both of the Pain members there underneath the turret. We'll call it an awful attempt at a dive there, as all told, it's Leviathan this time round not even trying to make any plays, just capitalizing on the blunders of Pain Gaming.
Yeah, if they keep giving them to you, you've got a duty, I should say, to keep capitalizing on them. But all that being said, as the Gravitum does nail him down, Moonlight Vigil will find 2 again. Just not quite enough to do anything meaningful other than kind of help crash this wave in. Nothing really to fight over objective-wise to go up there towards the river for. But Roodood, with all that being said, the gold lead has shrunk for Leviathan. So again, I want to talk about rinsing and repeating here. As DeVos going to try to get, maybe get dove on here. Bubble does land. Robo, CC chain, very nice. Gets the equalizer down onto the wave. He knows that he is not long for this world.
Hey man, he equalized like 2 ranged creeps. I would have rather seen him try to turn that around onto Robo, onto Curry, and look for a bit of a response there. You can maybe force a flash out, force something in response, but instead, no real successes. Now, we do get to see here the power of fortification, as typically in a war on turrets, you would favor an Azir plus Yorick duo over one single Zoe, but Enger able to find that first brick, and it's largely due to the fact that there are 2 people around that bot side versus 1 on the top.
Yeah, they do split the map, as Tinone's not going to have even more one-on-one time here with these back-end turrets. Enga will meet his opposite number there as well. Little vision cleared out there. Sleepy Trouble Bubble does land. Not quite max range paddle star, but enough to be dangerous. Holy moly.
Also. Oh, there you go.
And that's exactly what he does.
He even went for a Q. Really nicely done. I mean, the thing about Zoe is that there will come a point in this game where Enger can miss every skill shot and still kill squishies.
True.
It's a disaster, and it's a problem with the design, but it is a crucial feature where Spellfieth just becomes too OP. Now, with that pick going down, this cedes all control over the bot side jungle. This is a second time that Tinone's has fallen in the 1v1 versus the Zoe, and Enger is showing why he picked this into the Azir specifically, having an amazing time of things so far in Game 3. Means that this Dragon for Leviathan most likely going to go their way without too much contest.
No, and you see there, I mean, Enga just getting max value out of those empowered autos, right? Just ripping through that tower. Did it on the top side, going to do it again on the bottom side. Getting a little bit of healing down onto CEO to rescue him from the culling, but the unstoppable, or the public execution, excuse me, doesn't find its mark. There's the Moonlight Vigil, tidal wave out in response. 1v1 between Bookie and Carioca on the opposite side, continuing. Double flash out. Supreme Display of Talent finds nobody, but the kills are traded. 80 carry onto 80 carry. Now Equalizer comes in big and is ripping through Pain Gaming. Corey is not long for this world. Carioca not going to survive much longer. He turns tail and runs. Tinone's trying to go backwards and do damage at the same time. Does an okay job of it, but a 2-for-1 in favor of Leviathan, and they get the Dragon as their prize. Enga, not done yet, though. Gets a sleepy trouble bubble onto Tinones. He might be cooked here. Devos looking to clean it up. The cage goes up, and it will bail Tinones out just barely.
I don't know if they had vision on Tinones where he looked to go back to base. Sometimes you get that weird lingering vision, but Enga there, blind bubble over the wall, forces Tinones even further back to base. We go for a replay. All the way back at the start of this, the Ignite does a lot of damage, but a good shield from Tinones keeps him alive for a little bit longer. Good combo on the Zoe, though. Q flash is actually really a little bit difficult to pull off in such a short space of time. But he manages it anyway. And then Sayo here. This is the power of the Crescendum. Goes in, he's like 100 HP. He just rattles off those autos as they chain back into him incredibly quickly. Devos here with a great equalizer as well. Gets Carioca and Curie pretty much roasted to a crisp. And then again, I don't know if that bubble was blind or not, but Leviathan going to feel very happy about where they are in this game as Bookie's looking for Tinones.
Yeah. Looking for Tinones again. The Sleepy Trouble bubble lands again. The EQ does not go off. It lines up the public execution perfectly. You know who doesn't miss on a sleeping target? That's Bookie.
Yeah, he knows how to auto attack. He knows how to ulti as well. Been the recipient of 2 of Enga's bubbles now, and more than happy to continue with that lead. Leviathan showing that this time around they've got a little bit more in the tank than they did in game numbers 1 and 2.
No, certainly. And Enga, again, we got to keep singing this dude's praises. He was MVP yesterday in, actually, I don't know if, to be fair, I don't know if I remember if it was a series MVP or just game MVP, but continuing to put on a masterclass on, again, a couple of different styles of champions, but his team's picking him up as well when he gives them avenues to go in on.
Yeah, really small thing again here from Tinones, but he messes up the EQ combo. If he, he Qs and gets more distance, there's a world where he's able to get peeled by his team, or that Leviathan can't follow all the way up. So it's these small things, these small misplays that are seeping in. And again, reminder for people at home that Pain are playing, Leviathan are playing their 4th consecutive day on stage. Saturday, Sunday, they played a best of 1 apiece. Yesterday, they played a best of 3. Now they're playing a best of 5. This is a grueling schedule, and at a certain point, these mistakes are going to begin to seep in.
Yeah, no, and I think that's worth reminding everybody kind of every chance we get. Moonlight Vigil. Nope, not the Moonlight Vigil. That's just normal. Don't tell me, Infernum. And that's a Calibrum. That's a Moonlight Vigil. And that's more damage than I thought was going to take place, honestly.
Yeah, Felios is...
Didn't feel like the last couple hit that hard, but I guess level 11, the rank 2 Moonlight Vigil.
Yeah, the ulti on the Aphelios, you can do some really nasty combos with the sniper, the Calibrum gun, but Devos here caught in the cage. He's going to turn it back onto Robo, though. Has got Mercs.
Yeah, Robo just kind of T-posing in the Flame Spitter, and it goes about as well as you'd expect.
Yeah, I was thinking that Robo with that Merc tread really early on, I thought he'd built something else. Never mind, Carioca now in trouble.
He might be toast here. Supreme Display of Talent gets nobody. Carioca has not had a good time with those, but a fantastic micro play there by Bookie to negate the Emperor's Divide from Tinones. Does not impact him in the slightest. Somehow Carioca gets away with his life, but complete control over the river here for Leviathan. Don't think it's quite enough to go for the Baron, but certainly worth drawing your battle lines down here.
Yeah, and I mean, when you've got this advantage, you'd expect to see Leviathan look toward that Baron sooner rather than late. They've got 90 seconds on a Cloud Soul, so there's a world where they look to try and take that, but this is that point in the game, that crux where Leviathan have fallen time and time again. Saw them look at a Soul in game number 2, and instead they went to a Baron almost through there, but we'll see whether or not they're going to do the same thing again. I think play the numbers. Let's just make this game nice and easy. Make our way towards the Baron without any concerns. We can do that after we've taken the Soul. That's not a problem. And for them, I think, let's get Sayo to an Infinity Edge, right? Like, this guy is just a little bit off of that. Enga, 2 items on the Zoe. He feels good. Let's get Bookie that finished item. You know, let's finish our items. Let's do the due diligence. Let's make sure this game's nice and easily won.
Yeah, then you really have a three-headed monster. I mean, Devos just keeps on picking up kill after kill after kill. He's 5-2, 2.5 items. Got himself the Bloodletter's Curse as well, which not like Enga needed the additional help, but certainly is going to feel good. And again, just the massive upfront damage in his build. Shadow Flame Ludens, with the Ignite as well and the Electrocute. I mean, just a true Chad build here from Enga, as you should build Zoe. Man, I mean, it's just so tough for Pain, right? Because I mean, also, I mean, the scaling isn't like amazing. I mean, it's like where you take some, you give away some others. But again, with compositions like this, with kind of no true tank, no real kind of hard engage, and these things that we pointed out in draft and are continuing to harp on here, public execution just out of range of Kuri. Now Pain potentially looking to go back in. But yeah, as these games go on, I mean, it's just they're just going to keep crashing their heads into each other, and eventually you'd think that the wallet diff would win out for Leviathan. It's been a smoother game plan so far. Devos going to find Carioca in this brush and finds the supreme display of talent, and actually killing Devos here. It's going to be a lot of resources, but it might well be worth it. There goes the tidal wave. It does not put out Devos fire. Does a lot of damage. He does go down. Carioca and Tino's taken completely out of this fight, though. But now the rest of Pain Gaming looking to take on the rest of Leviathan. Moonlight Vigil does absolutely nothing. Bookie taken very low, but a shutdown now for Robo. Leviathan are doing it again, Roodood. I was just complimenting them. That was my mistake. My fault. I didn't mean it. It was a prank. Trigger eventually taken down finally as CO and Toplop get towards the rest of the squad. Enga shows up big and lays down the rest of the damage. Carioca, he's on the wrong side of the train tracks, but I don't think Leviathan care too much about him right now. I say that. TP comes in here, looking to get a little bit more done here. As Robo is just kind of isolated for everybody else. CO gets locked up in the baby cage there. He's got no summoners. Gonna try to take something down with him. Got the help from Toplop. That healing, not for nothing. I think Robo's just dead. There's no way! Milio! What the heck was that? Carioca gonna grab himself a kill. Kuri gets one back as well. Lots of damage coming in from Enga, and if Enga is alive, Leviathan has a shot. Through all of that, Devust has respawned. Newsflash, more at 7. There's a rumble on the loose, and he's going after the bird.
The numbers looked good for Pain Gaming, but their health bars were anything but. Bookie's able to respawn as well. He's made his way back out onto the map. Enga survives the entire time. Leviathan get Cloud Soul.
In the blink of an eye, it is Soul for Leviathan, and all of a sudden, they've got a much tighter hold on this game. Despite the gold lead having gone down a little bit, despite them almost throwing away that team fight, they get it back. I hope we get a replay of this just to kind of see where kind of the pivotal moments were, where it went sideways. Because it started out all right, right? Carioca was kind of the sacrificial lamb at the beginning of that fight, and then Devos went down. Great.
Yeah.
But with Enga still alive, that was a 4v4 that I guess Pain Gaming were never going to win, question mark. I mean, the Lucian, I mean, it just hasn't been Trigger's day. Nami's stolen, quote unquote, 3 of his kills. A lot of the power has gone into her, but she's on 3 items right now. And Enga, I mean, gosh, you can't say enough about the kid. Enga on 3 items right now, just absolutely destructive with the Horizon focus. That is just so disgusting.
Yeah, and I mean, on this Zoe, of course, he's a champion that scales with being ahead. I know that that's a weird concept, but if you can push into the enemy jungle, you then have more walls to play with. You can use the enemy's jungle as a potential bubble highway. You can see this is exactly the thing that Enga's now able to do. You can look aggressively, whereas if you're trying to fish and you're stuck in your base, those walls aren't particularly long. They're not particularly thick, so you can't get that really long range engage going. And this is a really good position for Leviathan to find themselves in with that Cloud Soul. Enga's done a really good job as Carioca has to ulti early.
Gets the ult down and gets ulted right back by the Mbessa. Devos going to pick up another kill. Carioca not having a great time. Massive EQ. Tinnels didn't screw that one up. He got everything out of that.
But what does
and boy,
it mean?
did he need to.
Carioca's gone down.
Yeah, I mean, this should be much easier to take. Enga. Wow, half his health bar just disappeared. Super Mega Fire Kick. It's not Super Mega Fire Kick. It's Super... Anyway. Sleepy Trouble Bubble lands. Devos still alive. Equalizer goes down. Gonna take away a lot of the health of Tinones. He's still got the flash. He's still got the ultimate. And Pain Gaming do get Leviathan off this Baron.
All right. Well, I think that overall, Pain Gaming will be happy with that. They lost Carioca. And Enga kind of playing a little bit too aggressively there. As the Zoe, you do want to play behind those walls, utilize them as best as possible to keep your distance. But actually what he does there is he starts to take position in the front, right? Takes position ahead in that brush. And what happens is he ultis out of it. Trigger gets a couple of autos down and half HP's the Zoe. Goes in with an ulti as well to take her down to about 5%. And actually when you've got 3 items now on the Lucian, those autos really do begin to hurt. You as the Zoe can't take really any of them.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing, right? You built straight damage. Not that you really build durability on Zoe anyway, but there is literally none on this. There are 0 defensive stats whatsoever on this Zoe right now. I guess you get some health from the Ludens, but you understand my point, right? You are built to be a glass cannon. You've taken the flash and the ignite as well on top of that. But now with that 3rd item, with that Infinity Edge, Trigger actually ahead of CEO in just raw combat power in terms of the items in his inventory. So yeah, no, it's good to point out. You do have to be careful. You aren't just this raid boss that can just maraud in, kind of do whatever you want, take a couple missteps, and still be all right.
No, that's Bookie.
See the gold lead. Yes, yeah, he's kind of been fair point. He's been a little bit demonic.
Yeah, the Ambessa in the jungle. I mean, they took it away to deny the Rumble answer, but Devosta's done very well on that pick on the top side. Bookie's done incredibly well on this pick in the jungle, but they've still yet 4x4 to close this game out. They've got a Cloud Soul, and the gold lead is still only 1500. Sayo steps forward, auto attack with the increased range from the Cozy Campfire. Does take Trigger to about 2/3 HP. And we're now getting to that squeaky time in the game 4x4 where Baron's up already, but Elder is spawning in 2 minutes time. You commit too much to this top side, and then you might lose the Elder. You commit too much to the Elder, you might lose the Baron. What's going to happen here? As Leviathan's macro is something we've been calling into question this entire time. You need to get more from them, and Leviathan need to become a bit more decisive in this game 3 if they want us to root for them, really, and make sure that we say they can do this.
Yeah. I'm interested to see, I mean, if the 2 teams opt to even trade objectives, right? Or will they fight, right? Will they say, actually, it's not even worth us trading these. We want to see if we can get the kills off of them and get the objective as a prize afterwards. Both top laners have their TPs up, can get there in a hurry should they want to. Robo does have the Maiden out.
And Robo's 3 items here as well, and they are 3 bruiser items.
Yeah.
If Devost oversteps on a side lane, he's in trouble. If Devost leaves on the side lane as well, he's in trouble. Like, Robo's just going to walk up and take this turret and maybe take the fight as well.
Steps out of the cage, the equalizer goes down. Yeah, Robo's just ripping right through him. The anti-heal did absolutely nothing. He just faced on him. Absolutely brutal. Trigger gonna flash away from the public execution. I like the vision there.
Just look bot
from
lane,
Bookie.
Though. Okay, now go Baron. Go Baron immediately. They've all got to turn up to the Baron. Robo TPs out. He lives.
He's out of there. It's that easy. He gets to the other side of the map in a hurry. Now Trigger's in trouble. Sleepy Trouble Bubble does land. Anga trying to get forward, but Tino's holding the line. Very impressively, I might say. Bubble doesn't land. Aqua Prison just wide of Bookie. Getting a little bit of vision down. CEO with that enhanced auto range with the Calibrum as well. Not going to find anything here. So after all that, no one did in fact go Baron Roodood.
Lots of pretty colors. Devost does die, but ultimately no neutral objective secured. Bot side objective control completely surrendered by both of these teams. One cursory Ambessa acting as a ward on that banana brush now into the short side of the river, but he's down 3 levels on Robo, who is a very, very menacing Yorick at this stage in the game. I mean, it's worth sending him back out to a side lane. The problem is he's now got no TP, so he kind of has to group, which is one of Yorick's downfalls here, is he's not particularly amazing at team fighting. So if you can get out in the sides, then absolutely, but that's not been particularly easy now without that teleport available.
Yeah, or if nothing else, can just like if he could take a 1v1 against somebody, right? I mean, he does do a lot of damage, like you were saying, right? But in a grouped up 5v5, right, it gets a little bit trickier. But it seems like everybody's got their abilities ready to rock and roll. Trigger is down a couple summoners, so is Kuri. But other than that, Karaoke,
Michael,
try to hide out in the brush. He gets hit by Sleepy Trouble Bubble. Michael Jordan from downtown. Anga starts it off with the kill onto the jungler. DeVos going forward, flame spittering right on the Trigger, and gets the stopwatch off to extend it a little bit more. Anga's got himself a double, making a triple. He starts it off, and he finishes it, and he gets an Elder, question mark. He'll get something as his reward. Leviathan take a great fight. Trigger trying to do something over the wall. Sidesteps the Sleepy Trouble Bubble. And just like that, Leviathan finally go back onto the Elder. How about it, Enga, man? Just an awesome series from him.
That's an incredible play by Enga here. Spots out Karaoke on the first instance and then hits him with the Buble through the wall. Makes it really, really difficult for Karaoke to particularly do anything. He falls, the Elder falls, and now for Leviathan. Surely this is where they can start to dot some I's, cross some T's, and put this game to bed. Get to take a look at a replay of this. Karaoke can't step that close, my friend, I'm afraid. Nice little bubble here through the backside of the Dragon Wall. Karaoke got nothing to do about it. You can go invisible. The bubble knows where you are. But then on the top side of this fight, Tinones just gets absolutely obliterated. Really good positioning as well. As Devost goes forward, he's got that stasis as well. So, yes, he may well fall off the back of it, but he knows that going golden's going to keep him alive for long enough. Elder at their back. Leviathan take this without any consequences.
No, I mean, just a really good team fight by them. And the macro questions that we've had of them, they seem to have maybe not been completely cleared out, but they seem a lot more in control in this game.
Baron picked up. You see Robo in the mid lane trying to do a little bit of work to take down the turrets and to push those waves ahead of time. Not against it, because it is going to be a pretty difficult push to attempt to withstand Zoe, one of the most obnoxious champions to play against when she's got a Baron, because she just sits over the wall, you're penned in your base, she can hop over, she can throw bubbles at you, throw poke out without really any attempted engages, because if we look at it, what is it that Pain can do to upset the Zoe, to stop her from hopping over the wall? You know, Karaoke maybe, but he's 1-5, not had a great game. Robo can put a cage around the landing spot, but all of these things just
Pinoms
feel...
maybe exhausting literally everything to scoop her into melee range, right? But to your point, they're all very high investment here. Yeah.
And look at where Karaoke is on the map right now. I think he should stay, to be honest. Let's never mind. Okay. I thought that flank angle would be really good. He's got a good route back through the jungle to maybe catch Leviathan out if they try and overextend. Instead, they just decide they're happy to concede. But I mean, like, are they going to concede this turret as well? Elder wears off in about 15 seconds, but that's a wave that Leviathan can use.
Just ripping right through everything. I mean, these structures do not stand a snowball's chance in hell. Absolutely nothing they can do in the face of this onslaught from Leviathan. So much value out of this Baron power play. The Elder does expire, but I mean, the threat of the Elder made Pain. There was no chance they were going to take a fight there. Now with both objectives down, just play the map out. You still got the Baron for another minute and change. And like you said, Roodood, with 2 inhibitors down, everyone to the top lane.
And for Pain Gaming here, their numbers, their options somewhat limited again. If we look at the gold across the two teams, it's not insurmountable for Pain Gaming. Trigger does have 3-4 completed items. Tinones has got 4 of his own, 3 of his own. Robo with 4 as well. He's 2k gold to the good, actually, with maybe one of the most CS numbers in the game. But Leviathan quite happy just to continue their push. Robo spends a lot of time pushing out on that bot side to, again, push that wave nice and deep. He buys a lot of time to try and hold on this top side.
Try to get something done on the other side of the map. Here comes the TP. Public Execution finds its mark. And now the rest of Pain Gaming gets ripped through. Tinones trying to use it defensively. It was a Hail Mary. It was never going to be a high success chance play. And indeed it was not. Leviathan should be on their way to ending this one and taking a 2-1 lead and putting Pain Gaming on the doorstep of elimination here in Split 1 here in the CBLOL Cup. A much more controlled, confident, dominant game back to front from Leviathan as they look up to lock up this 6th seed. Masterful performance by Enga. Deathless on the Zoe. Devost and Bookie did their part as well. Oh, and by the way, an Aphelios over the top, just in case you ever thought about slacking off. What a game. What a game by the LATAM representatives.
Yeah, that's what we've been waiting for, really, from Leviathan, and it kind of gives us that confidence that every time we've said these guys have got something extra, right? It doesn't feel like they're a team that should be sat with this scoreline, this sort of 2 7, 2 and
2 and
5, whatever.
scoreline.
Yeah, like they should be doing more with it. That's kind of why, and it's good that we get some credit given to them for their performance.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, and then for Pain Gaming, I mean, it never really felt like they got off the ground at all, right? Karaoke wasn't finding his ultimates, right? A couple of botch dives, and it's not to just dump on Karaoke, because there were a couple of moments that were on the margins, right? I think of that dive up on the top side, right, on that top lane tier 1, right? Devast, he got out ahead early. With one good dive, you can kind of shut him down and put Robo back in control of this one. But then, I mean, it was such a risky play, the Yorick as is, and then when the game got out of control, the win conditions and the avenues through which the York can have an impact just gets so much narrower.
And I think that's the real problem, right? Is that those opportunities, they just dwindled and dwindled and dwindled and dwindled.
Yeah.
And for Pain Gaming, obviously they weren't quite able to make it work. And for Leviathan, this time round, they were able to make it look convincing.
Yeah, absolutely. No, they looked much stronger, back to front. And now, with one game left, they are on the doorstep of eliminating Pain Gaming. We're going to be right back and take it to a quick break. And when we do, potentially Pain Gaming's last game of the season until March or April. We'll be right back. The last time Pain finished outside the top 4 in CBLOL was when the pandemic hit, 2020 season 1. They finished 6th. Tinon's is actually on that roster, along with Yang, Songhwan, BRTT, and Key. Now, all's well that ends well. They got to the finals one split later. Franchising came around. They went to MSI. And then, 4 years of death, destruction, famine, pestilence, and the other horsemen. And then they went back on top. And now they find themselves on the precipice of something that they haven't done in 6 years, which is finish outside the top 4. Yes, high bar to set, but still, this Pain Gaming roster had aspirations much, much higher than just top 4. And yet, Roodood, this is where we find ourselves. Leviathan up 2-1 in this series. Into game 4 we go.
As I make sure that people can see the draft, there we go. Yeah, it's a dangerous proposition here as a Pain Gaming fan down in the dirt, really. Well, last time they finished outside of the top 4 was back then. Have they ever finished outside of the top 6? Have they ever not made playoffs? When was the last time that happened? That's an even deeper question.
They did get relegated once upon a time, so it might have been then.
Yeah. Could have been a long time ago, or it was definitely a long time ago, but we'll see if history in that sense is to repeat itself, where they don't make even the top 6 either. Shout outs to RMC for that quick stat line as well.
Yeah.
I'm going to call it, whether you've done your own research or not, 4x4, but
no, that
I
was
think
RMC.
we're both candid people here. We can give the credit where it's due, and
yep.
For Pain Gaming here, they've opted into a first pick Jarvan, which I am a eternal hater of for exactly this reason. Okay, you lock in something that is attempting to lock down those immobile carries, and then you immediately get hit with double combos that can both get out of your
mobile
ulti.
carries.
Yeah, exactly.
The old mobile carry banana skin.
Yeah, like what are you to do?
Oh man, yeah, Ezreal, look, as strong as ever on this patch, and will be combined with the Aatrox here. Sivir going to be locked in here for Trigger, so going with an extremely powerful option into the late game should they get there. That is going to be the big challenge on Carioca's shoulders on this Jarvan. That is the responsibility you have, and 2 of the lanes you are trying to gank, like you said, Roodood, all of a sudden got a lot trickier to gank.
They really did, and that's not good news if you are Carioca. Now, on his Jarvan, he has been very active through the early stages of the game, and I do actually not object to Jarvan versus Ezreal, because typically, Jarvan will use his flag and drag, and the Ezreal will arcane shift that. Then you can use the ulti, and then if the Ezreal has flash, it's the AD carry has flash, it's the same outcome as if it wasn't an Ezreal anyway. So, not entirely opposed to this here, but for Pain Gaming, it is going to be very, very difficult to get this Jarvan off and rolling, especially now in the face of an Alistar, the first real engage support that we've found so far. And,
hey,
I wonder, is Curry gonna dip his toes into the enchantment supports well even further, or is he gonna finally dive back into what is ultimately the tank supports day to come back and shine?
Yeah, we'll see. Look, they banned Nautilus last time around. Leona's still on the board, right? Nautilus is still on the board, assuming it makes it through part 2 of the bans. But Tino's going to be rocking the Aurora here in this one. And again, you kind of like the wombo combo-ness of it if you didn't have 2 very potent characters that can press E, both of them, and just kind of opt out.
And walk away.
I do not agree. I do not agree to the terms and conditions, and then the page just boots you out. That's how it goes.
They read the small print here, and it said, if you have mobility, you can get out for free. And then Leviathan went, oh, yes, okay, well, we'll sign that clause, actually, and we'll take that all on our own. The Akali being taken away early here by Pain Gaming, suggesting, obviously, they've got the Aurora locked in, but that maybe they've got something else a little bit tricksy lined on up. I wouldn't be surprised if Robo, somewhere in that match history, there's an Aurora game. Something.
Oh yeah, not at all. No, in fact, yeah, I think again the non-existent mortgage is going to be wagered here again.
Yeah, so it could be flex top lane, right? And that's what we want to see. If that goes that way, it's entirely possible.
Rest of the band's coming through. 1 engaged support, 1 not really engaged support, and the LeBlanc going to be banned away as well, and the Akali being taken away as well. Is that that give you any insight into whether this is staying?
No idea at all. I'm gonna keep it a buck. This Aurora could go top, it
Yeah.
could go mid. Tinos has had a pretty good Aurora for the most part as well, so it's
Mhm.
not a bad pick to put in his hands. It's really a question of whether or not Tinones looks at this matchup, goes, nah, bruv, this is unplayable. Robo, you got to take this, and then he can pick something to counter this Indra. But regardless, you have to remember that this Aatrox is also a very likely flex pick. We can see Buki take this one into the jungle, and that Robo is essentially blind picking his top laner here.
Yeah, very well could be, unfortunately. So we'll see. Yeah, I mean, look, Robo's no stranger to blinding a rough matchup. There's an engaged support, going to be locked in. The Leona. And again, talk about being counterpicked into something that you want to do, right? I mean, the Syndra into the Jarvan, that's a bit of a rough one as well, right? You try to go forward, bonk. You don't get to. The Jack's going to be over the top of that. So now I will say, you talk again. I kind of used the metaphor last time around of how many bullets do you have in the chamber. Pain have quite a few bullets in this chamber if they want to go with the Jax or even the Gwen to a certain extent. But actually, the Jax, yeah, I mean, you're not getting a ton of value as far as canceling autos and whatnot, but look, it's still a Jax. It's still more CC. It's still a lot of go forward with the Sivir, in the back here. This is a very, very gutsy comp to play here for Pain, but again, a lot of bullets in the chamber.
Could go deep into the top pool here. We could see a Gragas get locked in. Could also see one of the old school answers to the Jax. He hops on top of you, and then you get ulted and die. It's the Kennen, the first time out in the CBLOL. We have seen this again. Has been played already over in the LPL, so there are shades of this cropping up in different places. It's Leviathan pulling out these niche picks this time that are hopefully going to guide them into the playoffs.
It would be the 6th seed. We take on the 3 seed. It's like, again, I just gotta stop saying things before I open my mouth. I know they're going against a 3 seed. I'm just who is the 3 seed, and I think it's Furia, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah,
yes, indeed, it is Furia. Yep.
Loud 4, Furia
Loud
3.
Kate on the other side.
And then Red 2, Low Swan in the craziest turn of events. Since Leviathan won Split 1 in 2025. I mean, I'm looking at these two compositions here, 4x4. Lots of team fight available for Pain Gaming, right? Sivir win condition later on going to be pretty good. But equally, lots of team fight available for Leviathan as well. They've got Kennen. They've got Syndra. They've got the Alistair as well. They also have got themselves a pretty decently built out Wombo combo setting.
Yeah, no, they absolutely do. It's so again, I do slightly favor Levy. Well, I don't know. I mean, I say that it feels like it's a little easier, given what they're up against, to execute that and to hit the right buttons in the right order before your opponent hits all their buttons. But Pain Gaming have a ton of damage in this composition as well. So does the other side, to be fair. But Leviathan, their early games have been great, Roodood, and it seems like they've gotten a lot more comfortable at capitalizing on those early games. So are there any matchups you're looking at that Leviathan could exploit, or do you see any of these being more Pain favored?
The Kennen looks good into Jax on paper. What have we got? Syndra's probably fine into Aurora as well. Syndra outranges the Aurora. Ezreal's outranged Sivir since the dawn of time. So, I mean, I don't know that there's too many bright spots to roost about for this 4th game here. 4x4 Pain Gaming versus Leviathan. Could very well be our final game of the night as Leviathan find themselves with the 2-1 score.
On to the Rift we go. Do or die for Pain Gaming. Leviathan have a 1-game cushion, but hoping to close it out here and not give the momentum right back to a Pain Gaming squad that, again, should they hit their ceiling, are absolutely top 4 worthy. Can they go any higher than that? I still have my doubts, even at their ceiling. Teams that are younger and hungrier, quite frankly. I'm just going to be honest. These guys, I mean, well, I'm not going to do the thing right now, but it's a ton of CBLOL championships between this side of the Rift on Pain Gaming. So many titles. Robo, the winningest player in CBLOL history, 7 for him. As he's going to be met, Carioca is going to be met with a wild bookie in his lane. And he just might be toast here. Oh my goodness, it's happened again.
Carioca, buddy, we need to use our flash spell. Like, this is an a not okay way to be dying, as we do see Curry able to get a good trade down on that bot side, but you had so much time to flash that auto, even to flash the Q3 if you were thinking about it. But Karaoke forced off of his chickens, and there's going to be another fight around that top side as well. I'm looking at the minimap as they begin to maybe tussle with one another. Bookie's level 2, so I think the slightly lower HP marks for the Aatrox aren't going to be too much of a concern.
No, not quite. DeVos and Robo going at it here. Bookie
Oh
going right back onto Karaoke. Talk about all gas, no brakes. DeVos on the verge of a solo kill. Pain able to juke that one out as their top laner. As Robo just barely.
Yeah, just look at Bookie here, by the way. He took the majority of that Krug camp. He won the smite fight out. He was able to force Karaoke away. Now we've seen Robo lose out on that top matchup. He's even gone for the Hail of Blades just to be able to have something to be able to battle back with. But Karaoke here, sunk cost fallacy. He's committed so much to this top side. He has got a mid laner here this time, though.
Yep, and that could, to be fair, prove to be the difference. Karaoke is still only level 1. Tinones is level 3. Bookie able to get over the wall.
What is this?
With the Umbral Dash.
That's illegal. No. This is so bad for Pain. Tinone's committed to moving his way over here. He doesn't get anything for it. Enga didn't even bother leaving mid lane, so he gets a free recall and a base out back into the mid lane. And Karaoke is 3 minutes into this game, and he's about to take his first camp.
It's a rough one. It is
it's an understatement.
I'm not gonna. Oh, hang on a second here, Robo. Hey, look at the CC down on DeVos, but the lane has all of a sudden shortened itself. It's Curry going to try to be the newest hero for Pain Gaming. The Zenith Blade does not find its mark, just barely out of range. Bookie able to sidestep that one. DeVos should be able to get back with a replay. Going to take another look at this one.
Yeah, and I mean, this is just level 1 Aatrox. I didn't know it had this kind of source, but it really, really does. And Leviathan have had it pretty much this whole series long. I mean, Karaoke, so much time to flash there, buddy. That is... It's pretty sad.
Yeah, Bookie's feeling really good about things. Him and his double XL jersey, apparently, just draped over him. Like the mantle of a noble warrior king.
I mean, that's what he's been this series. I'm not going to lie. He's done very well.
He's been monstrous. Yeah.
This mid-jungle, both of them in kind have been kind of phenomenal. As you know, Enga, I was a little bit surprised to not see him roam to the top side, but he just had faith, right?
Didn't matter. Yeah, exactly. He's like, no, my noble warrior king is going to be A-okay.
This big jacket, like, what can touch him? He's so protected. He's so warm.
The haters can't fathom that he's as cozy as he is. They're in shambles at this phenomenal game that he's having. Great series by the mid jungle, just of Leviathan really coming to play and kind of cementing themselves as real forces. I mean, as we look ahead, right? Furia, that's going to be quite the mountain to climb. Still favor Furia in that series, but Leviathan certainly showing that they can throw a spanner in the works of the best laid plans of Panthers, and the extended metaphor falls apart there.
We tried. To 3v3 down on this bot side, though.
Yeah. Karaoke going to show up here, but is it too little too late? Top lop, able to get the heal off. CC goes down onto Curry. Boomerang Blade. Going to take down a little bit of that wave. Does Bookie want to go back in here, waiting for maybe another spell rotation? CEO is low on mana. That might be just about it. Karaoke, he's down still 2 camps, but is caught up as far as levels are concerned. Items still eluding our dear sweet boy.
Yeah, I mean, he's been pretty homeless. Is how I'm going to phrase that as Toplop and Trigger here, just exchanging pleasantries down on the bot side as it's going to interrupt the Alistair's recall, but nothing really else to come from it.
And not much else. Enga looking for, I mean, we haven't seen him get a solo kill yet, so maybe potentially looking at that. One plate goes down from DeVos, crushing a massive wave in. Robo gonna have his work cut out for him to get some value out of this one. Karaoke lurking. Here's Pain kind of collapsing here. But following his opposite number is Toplop, following the support up. DeVos going to take a little bit of a accelerated route here through the brushes. CC coming out. The CC chain is beautiful, and Toplop might not be long for this world slicing.
Hold on.
Maelstrom gonna buy him some time here. That is a lot of damage. Toplop does go down, but has he bought himself enough time to get Bookie there? Robo taken very, very low. Flashes away the EQ from Karaoke.
Ooh.
Somehow they might get away with it, but Kuri will go down.
It's support for support in the end. DeVos using his ulti there, gets the 3-man, and it does look pretty devastating here as you get to see Seo and Trigger definitely coming to blows down on the bot side. Now Trigger, he's got the barrier versus the cleanse that Seo has had to take. TP into the mixer here from Robo, and if he uses his Q too aggressively, he could be in trouble.
There's a lot of front damage that he has. Now the stun comes down and Bookie comes in, gets the chains down, yoinks him into certain doom. 2 kills for Bookie, 100% KP still for the boy.
Yeah, it's little things like that that are now extremely bad for Robo. Look at his XP bar. He's about halfway through level 6. He's about to miss out on this entire wave of experience. And I mean, using the term wave singular is doing it a disservice. There are 7 ranged minions in that one.
Oof.
So he probably gets a couple of them as he comes back to the lane, but not nearly enough of them. We'll take another look at this replay. On Toplop, you can see he's not particularly bothered by the Leona. He's actually looking to try and stop the Jax from being able to get in. But DeVos buys enough space, and I think they get a little bit confused here because Karaoke's under the turret, Robo's 1 HP, and it's a really good flash from Robo, tandemly synced up with that EQ from Karaoke to be able to get out to safety. Definitely felt like there should have been at least 3 deaths there for Pain Gaming, and I think they'll be happy with the fact that they only limped away with 1.
Oh, absolutely. No, that could have gone a lot worse. You see here on the bottom side here, as we get a replay of what Trigger and CEO got up to. Nothing, no blood spilled, so no harm, no foul, but could have been more. Yeah, a rare game where CEO doesn't find himself up 2-0 for free. Now it's Slicing Maelstrom coming through again here, as Robo should be able to escape here. Another 2v2 going at it down in the bottom lane. No one's hit level 6 yet except Trigger, and he's going to spell shield that beautifully. Heard the audio cue, I imagine, and just press W.
Yeah, I don't know if they are aware that this ward is in the Tri-Brush. So the weird thing about Tri-Brush, sometimes you get vision down on the bot side of that wall. Sometimes it's just a little bit lacking. So maybe they got to see it, maybe they didn't. But even still, the bot laners have been largely left to their own devices so far this game. It's actually Trigger who's coming out on top. DeVos spending a little bit of time working his way through some of these plates. It's Karaoke who shows his face, and DeVos who immediately goes, "Okay, bye."
Nice knowing you. Not going to throw this lead away. 2,000 gold. Feels like the biggest lead of the various early games at Leviathan have been ahead. I mean, as far as this much gold this early, it's been absolutely it's been absolutely huge, and it's come almost entirely off the back of Bookie doing what he did to Karaoke in the early game, slowing him down to such an immense degree. Now he's caught up in terms of levels, but not in terms of items, and certainly not in terms of gold. I said terms 3 times. I thought I butchered it twice, but here we are. Dragon gonna be up here, or is up, I should say. Grub's gonna be up in a couple minutes here as well. Pain have control over the bottom side river, but they are spotted. Pain. Yeah, see if they can get back into a favorable position here.
Buki did get 3 grubs, so it's the Herald spawning in about 5 minutes time, and with that Dragon being a point of contention through this series so far, you would expect to see that the first couple are going to go the way of Leviathan. That's been the trend thus far, and with their superior laning, it's no surprise.
No, they've had Pain's number as far as the early game is concerned. Now they've cleared out all of Pain Gaming's vision here. See if Kuri and Karaoke really do quit on this. I imagine the answer is no. Trigger showing up here. Robo doesn't have his T feed. DeVos gonna press the Slicing Maelstrom one more time. He might have enough there with the Proto Belt. One more empowered auto, just barely not enough. Robo leaps to safety, but DeVos flashes in after him. And that Speedy Orbital picks up another kill. 2-0-1 for the Leviathan top laner. And now, fight still brewing potentially in the river. He's got no TP to join, does DeVos, but if nothing else, he's going to get a lot of time with that tier 1 turret. Kuri gets a solar flare over the wall. Bookie instantly able to flash out of it as soon as that CC came up off cooldown. Now Toplop in a little bit of trouble here. Has his ultimate. Lasts a long time. Just gets deleted, does Karaoke. And now Bookie is going to be a capital P problem. Pops the World Ender. Kuri goes down as CEO takes him down. On the other side, Anga signs Kuri's death warrant. And Roodood
Mm.
might have signed Payne's death warrant. I'm just going to say it. I know that is a cardinal sin of casting right now, but this is absolutely brutal.
This is a tough watch for the Payne fans at home. 2020, the last time this team didn't make it to top 4. They are on the verge of getting knocked out in 7th. And it's Leviathan who are dealing them this hand, and it's not even been Payne Gaming throwing this time. It's been Leviathan just taking the game to them. DeVost with a couple of solo kills in the top lane with a really nice performance out of this new jungler for Leviathan. Buki has been phenomenal in this series, has been ahead of Karaoke at every given turn and hasn't really had an opportunity to let Karaoke back into this match.
No, not at all. And that's, I think that's the key, right? Is, okay, you put Karaoke in the dirt early on, great. Then what? And you saw him return again and again to that top side. And it just multiplies. It just snowballs absolutely out of control as Top Lop shows up, big headbutt Pulverize with the Glacial Augment helping out as well, and down goes Robo. Pop the Grandmaster's Might for literally 0.
Yep, a stun and one more Q, and that is job done here. Robo as well, not going to particularly find that this game gets all that much easier as we move later on into the game.
No.
He is going for this Dusk and Dawn as well, I would assume at some point. He's got an Alternator, he's got a Vamp Scepter, he's got an extra Amp Tome in there, so there's not a lot of synergy between this build for the time being, and hopefully at some point that will come through and change and we'll get somewhere near a first item, but it's in fact the Gunblade, so boo fool me for not having a working grasp / knowledge of what the items are built from.
Still early. Insta cleanses does CEO out of that Solar Flare. Maybe we'll sidestep the Zenith Blade. It's been that kind of game for Payne. Just try as you might, nothing seems to be going right. Bars?
Yeah, that was better than the nonsense I spewed about items that don't build in together and then he picks up a first item off the rip. But this is the actual solo kill here as DeVost steps back. Really like the way that he attempts to drop the turret aggro just in between all of that, but ultimately uses the flash, uses an extra Q and makes that a quick little thing. And now Curry down on this bot side. He's got a Solstice Slay, so I don't expect it to be a problem for him that he's got 3 people breathing down his neck. And they all go, yeah, it's a Leona, we ain't bothered.
Nope. If you are down in Brazil, tickets are available. eventim.com.br. So same time, same place. They will be on sale tomorrow. That's what that means. There we go. Yeah, I was going to say games are tomorrow? Dia Quattro? No, not Dia Quattro. No, Dia Quattro is tomorrow. We are not casting tomorrow.
We are not. We have done 4 straight days. We need a break.
Yeah.
I've got people to show that I care about them. And the last 4 days I've not done that. So,
yeah, I know you have been very busy. Every time I've hovered over the Discord channel, I see in live it's Roodood and fill in the blank.
Someone else.
Like, oh, poor kid.
Hey man, the show must go on.
Doing the Lord's work. No, it really must. Oh, Robo's just dead here. Oh.
Good night, sweet prince. That's not even an execute threshold Syndra yet.
Exactly. That wasn't a pop. Yeah.
Not even a third upgrade Syndra. I don't believe either. Hold on.
Curry gets CC'd within an inch of his life. Karaoke taken very, very low. Bookie taken low as well, but the World Ender will keep him up. Good amount of damage coming through for Payne, but it is not enough to make up a almost 6,000 gold lead here for Leviathan. Didn't even catch the 7-1. Didn't get to make the 7-1 joke.
No.
But it has been just as depressing for Payne in this one.
Yeah.
As Leviathan, it's been, they got the tower, they've got the 6,000 gold lead, they've got the 3 grubs, and they're going to get the Herald on top of the Dragon.
Buki has just destroyed Karaoke this game, for lack of a better terminology here, because just remember how this game started. It was with Buki invading Karaoke at level 1 and solo killing him. He then stole his Krugs and secured 3/4 of the Krug camp. He then took the red buff away when we saw Tinones commit a lot of time to come and help him. All the while, Robo is getting 1v1'd by DeVost. So the entire top side kind of crumbled. And It's a bad game to be Trigger here because you played Sivir, you cleared your waves, you even got a slight CS lead and a gold lead over the Ezreal who got fed a kill, and you've just lost really through no fault of your own.
No, it's been that kind of game for Pain. I'm pulling up Pain's biggest super fan and most entertaining / toxic Twitter presence. Pixning du Pain. He's quite the character on here. There's a lot of just kind of Joker style laughing in all caps 13 minutes ago. So I think that was when Karaoke just kind of it got dumpstered there. So
No, it's when he got his first camp 13 minutes ago. So it was the start of the turnaround, I think.
yeah, okay, there you go. Yeah, and then right before that, it was I don't even have a tweet for this.
Amazing.
Yeah, so it's been that kind of game, and then finally, as the Herald crashes in here, he stopped tweeting as of 12 minutes ago. It's just been kind of
when Karaoke got his second camp.
Yeah, and it was a small detail. He screwed up the laning phase of his top and mid laner with this expletive. What a terrorist. So that's how the Pain fan base is feeling right now.
So not overwhelmingly positive is how
no,
I'm
I wouldn't
choose
say
to
so.
skew that. And I don't want to put words in this Twitter user's mouth, but I don't think they're happy is my prevailing opinion. Once again, the Roodood analysis, it's hitting hard and it's hitting deep here. But you know, let's take the time here to sing some of the praises for Leviathan. 9-1 up here, and you know, after game one, we were thinking Pain Gaming probably looking like a solid team in this series. You know, definitely going to give us a good run of things. And game two, we thought that again.
They took Cade to 3 games, right? Yeah. It's like, okay, Cade's not bad, right? Eventually they will find their footing. There's too much talent on that roster. You took them to 3 games, great, right? The carries looked good, and then,
and we then look at game two, where you know Pain Gaming had every right to win that game. Leviathan sort of tossed it back at them, and then Pain Gaming threw it back again and said, "Actually, no, we're okay." But then game 3 came round, and Leviathan again. This time they were very happy to snowball it, and I think game 4 has been the most dramatic example of a snowball that we've seen so far from this series. Now Robo is under fire here. There's a deep flank from Toplop coming in.
Able to get out of a little bit of trouble here as Robo somehow did not, after just getting pounded over and over and over again, somehow finds a way to make a 1v1 not seem quite as bad. I will give him that credit, but that is literally the only credit I can give him because he will die as Anga finds him over the wall. Didn't even see him on my screen. I'm like, what happened there? Bookie didn't touch him. Oh, right. There are 5 players on this team. One of them was not accounted for. CEO going to get himself some solo turret plating gold. Is Bookie going to try to bully Trigger out of the jungle here? Unsuccessful. Well, successful, but does not take the camps. As Tinones trying desperately to get Pain their second tower of the game here. Will be unsuccessful in this one. Devos sped up here. And now the chase might be on here. TP comes in. Anga gets a chunk taken out of him. Gets the EQ down to stun Tinones up. But able to get a lot of return damage down is Tinones. World Ender flashes forward. CEO cleanses out, but too little too late. Karaoke gets the E down for that extra auto speed. Gets a shutdown onto Trigger. So the slightest, and I mean slightest sliver of hope for Pain Gaming.
And I mean, all of this has to be the Trigger show in game number 4. If you ever wanted to prove your salt, to prove your metal here, Trigger, why they brought you across the pond, and this is the game, right? Because you're the one with the gold lead. The rest of your team is not just crumbling, they've deteriorated. They've fallen apart at the seams, and they've got no hope. It's time to step up, not just to captain, but to lead and take them, hopefully, to a game number 5. But, you know, doing that in the face of all of these fed topside members, it's just so tricky.
It's really, really rough, right? And a lot of them with some gap closers, as we talked about, right? We talked about it into the Jarvan, but also can get onto Trigger. We see this 1v1 devolve into something else here, but CEO, it's just too many bodies to deal with.
He's been doing this a lot in this game, where he's kind of relying on the fact that his team are so far ahead. This time round, he gets punished for it, and you know, quite rightfully so, as he gets a little bit too big for his britches and does fall.
Robo might be next to fall here.
He got good
It's a
moves.
couple levels up on Bookie. Yeah, he'll be okay. 2 dragons up to 0. Our Leviathan flashing, going right in. Anga looking for that EQ, finds it. Solar Flare not going to find anything. Trigger goes down. CEO gets his revenge. Curry is on the run. The rest of the squad looking to join in here. Stun landed there by Robo. Pops his ultimate. Ultimate right back to the Slicing Maelstrom. Going to stun Robo up here. Might have had enough to take that down,
Yeah.
but Robo will survive.
Fully charged Proto Belt to the face there might have been enough. Oh, hold on there, Divorced Laddie. I don't know that you've got that much in your capabilities, as Karaoke now shows his face. Should fall on the bot side.
Yeah, you'd like to think so. Takes an ultimate, but you did get a
Oh,
shutdown out of it.
Tinones.
Tinones is in the enemy base. He is no longer in the enemy base. CEO making sure of that.
Hey, man. Look, all I remember is that Tino's had a 6-pet clip in week 1. It seems only valid that as he comes to the close of this split, he has another one.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was awful. Like he ulted into the base underneath Nexus turrets. I'll TP here, sure.
Yeah, that's the thing about the Aurora ult, right? You can think you're being tricky, but everybody knows, okay, there's a finite number of places you can pop out. And if I see you go in one way, actually, there's one place, and one place exactly, where you're going to pop out. So in that situation specifically, not nearly as sneaky as you might think. As a panic ult, if I've ever seen one.
Mm-hmm. Now, again, and I hate to draw this comparison, Leviathan were at some stage this game 7,000 gold to the good. They are now currently 4,500 gold to the good. If
Yeah.
the game runs this course, odds are Leviathan are still going to win. They're still going to be able to use Engabuki and Devost to come to some sort of positive outcome per the end of this game, and hopefully this series as well. But when they move into a series versus Furia, it does make you think, it does make you wonder, it does make you a little bit worried, actually, that they don't have what it takes to put their foot down decisively.
Yeah. No, and I think that's a very fair criticism, especially against Furia, like we were saying, who at their best have one of the most demonic mid games that we have here in the CBLOL, can really, really take over a game and snowball that off the back of the guy who, again, at his best is the best jungler in CBLOL and a couple of really powerful laners flanking him. So yeah, I mean, this kind of play where you're right to point it out, Rooted. I mean, we've been treating this game a bit as a foregone conclusion because the lead is just so astronomical. But you're right to point it out. You look up, all of a sudden that lead's been cut in half, and this, like the great early games for Leviathan, the mediocre to downright bad mid games have also been a theme for Leviathan, unfortunately. And they're going to have 5 days or whatever of scrims to fix it, less than that. And boy, I mean, they're gonna have to do some serious work here because against a more serious outfit, that is not gonna work.
Yeah, I mean, they are absolute lunatics if they don't take tomorrow as a rest day. But
Yes.
then again,
yes.
you have to think about it and look at when they next play and think, well, do we have the time to take a Wednesday off when we've got games on Saturday? I don't know. A question of whether Enger gets spotted here, and he does. Does Robo get spotted? Probably not, as he's backing in this Pixel Brush, but he's 2 items completed on this AP Jax. Now, for those of you who haven't caught a BAO stream or aren't familiar with this new AP Jax style, I say new like it's not been around for a little bit of time here. It basically functions like an assassin. It does still have that consistent DPS threat, but your burst is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, and you've kind of seen it in some of these fights that he's had with Devost as Leviathan gets all their health bars taken down to about half HP. There's as good a window as ever for Pain Gaming as he goes in, gets a big old knock up, does top lob. He'll be the sacrificial lamb, and Devost goes down as well as Robo gets in there like swimwear. He is monstrous right now. Trigger gets a double kill. It's happening, Roodood. It's happening.
No.
Pain Gaming, a 3-for-0 fight.
My hopes of an early bedtime 4x4, they're dwindling. They are fading away as that gold lead has been crunched yet again. Trigger, 3 items deep on the Sivir. He was left unchecked, untouched during that team fight. And he made Leviathan pay for that. They tried to siege under the tier 2 turret and they weren't able to do it. Now, is this all of a sudden game over? No, it's not, but it's not boding well. Trigger has got the tools to carry this game. Whether or not he does, very much dependent on those clicks. The import for Pain Gaming, can he take them to a 5th and final game in this series?
It is going to be all on him. And I mean, and look, for all the grief that we've given Pain, this composition, again, in the right window, right? And that window was everyone has blown everything / everyone is down to half HP, right? For all the grief that we've given this composition with the first pick Jarvan and the mobile carries on the other side, once it gets going, right? Once those kind of things are taken out, this paint composition is a lot to deal with, right? If it can go forward, it can get on you in a hurry, and it has a lot of crowd control.
And that's something that obviously Leviathan have got to try to deal with as well. Now they've got Toplop to enable that. They've got DeVos to keep people in place and Enga to shunt people back. But if that team fight's anything to go off of, it's not been that easy for them to find. Now, I would remind people that doing that under a turret, under your own defensive turret, is a lot easier than doing it out in the open. But it's not to say that Pain Gaming can't do it, period.
No, absolutely not. And around these objectives, things certainly get hairier. And the ability for Pain to spring a surprise, right, and go on the offensive. In some ways it gets easier, but in some ways it gets harder. Leviathan, man, that gold lead, Roodood. Oh, God, 1,000 gold.
Yeah, where they were in this game, like that. I think the good thing is that if they do make it through, and we have to start using that term "if" now because they've just had the first of the double throw that they would have needed to make that not realistic. They'll know what they need to look at. Now they did this in game 2, where they had Soul Point locked and loaded, and instead of going to the Soul, they went to the Baron. Now they've done it again here, but this time with a little bit more setup. DeVost is on a flank. Enga and Toplop are running anchor. DeVost is going to see Karaoke first, but that gives away the Kennon's position.
Shot Barrage not going to find anything. Robo having one-on-one time with the bot lane tier 2. That goes down. Here comes the TP. It's going into the Baron pit. The health bars for Leviathan are low. Robo going in. Flash gets the shot off. And good night, sweet prince. You weren't kidding about that AP Assassin Jax. That is so much damage. And now here comes the rest of Pain Gaming. The EQ goes down for Enga and able to take down Tinones. But at what cost? Pain are going to get the Baron. Oh, man. Roodood. How did they boof this?
Yeah. And they'll be asking themselves that question long into game number 5. As it certainly looks like we're going that way here. Pain Gaming, they've done what felt like the impossible here. Karaoke, from not securing a camp in the first 3 minutes, secures the Baron not 13 minutes into this match. Sayo here, he's just fishing, he's just poking and prodding, looking for a couple of those cheeky little cues. Unfortunately, Robo's got that one shot in the Dusk and Dawn. A perfect item for an AP Jax. And yeah, Enga, he's able to take out Tinones on the back side of this fight, but that guy he's a melee, he's a ranged creep at this point. Tinones is not the guy that we need to be focusing with Syndra ulti.
No. And I think that was give them the slight benefit of the doubt and say that was just a result of, look, the fight got split up that way. I got to get something. But the fact that the fight got split up, right, as you had first purchase onto the Baron, right? You highlighted it, Roodood. They're on the Baron again, but this time with a little bit more agency, a little bit more vision, better setup. And you find yourself on the back foot in the blink of an eye. Robo cleared the screen in no time flat and deleted CO. And that was just Robo. That's kind of the wild part. Now, you're not going to have to worry about that exact combo for another kind of 4 minutes before the flash is up. But they expended nothing effectively to clear the screen and just flip that fight. And then the rest of it came through, right? You didn't have to blow everything because you had the Solar Flare, you had the Cataclysm, you had the EQ, you had everything else to go.
And I don't want to mince words here, but it's a pretty big biff there by Sayo to get caught out by that, because you should never be in range to get queued as an Ezreal by a Jax. And that's what led that. That's what started it in the first place. So you should never really be in that position. You shouldn't be trying to weave auto attacks onto a Jax that's counter-striking. But
no, not in that situation, dude. No way.
So it is, it's a blunder. It's a mistake.
Hey, yo.
God.
Holy moly. Oh, my goodness. That is a lot of damage. Robo is now public enemy number 1, man. Once that Counter-Strike goes, or once the Counter-Strike goes up, everyone just kind of clenches a little bit.
And as they should. This guy's terrifying. Get him out.
Oh, my goodness, dude.
What do you even do here as Leviathan now? Like you've got to try and play these fights without the jacks. I want to say, and you've got to consider the jacks at every given turn. But Robo's got a stasis, so if he ever gets caught, he goes golden and then can reset for another Q that's going to be up, another counter strike that's going to be up. This is really difficult for Leviathan. And
Have you talked yourself into anything yet, Roodood?
No, and even if Robo dies, Trigger's got 5 items.
Yeah. Yep, and he's on his way to 2 more. Robo could still be level 20. Enga, not going to be enough here, right? 1 spell rotation. Shirley and Robo, hold on a second here. Hi. Anything you can do, I can do as well.
Yeah, can you hop every 3 seconds, though? That's the real trick here. Now, DeVos may be able to catch him out. Doesn't quite have the... never mind. Oh.
Yeah, Proto Belt, going with the Slicing Maelstrom, and that is absolutely huge.
That is.
Now, what can they do with it?
Hey, man, I almost said the F word on Ast. You know, the F all, right? Like, realistically, the waves are in Narnia. There are no neutral objectives. It's a good kill.
Congrats on your 300 gold.
Yeah. Now we have to remember here, 4x4. Leviathan, once again, they did this in game number 2. They opened the door for Pain Gaming. Now, this time they've taken a couple of steps in through the front porch, but whether or not they decide that they've left something in the car, we don't know, right? Pain can still toss this back.
But man, I mean, I feel like a lot hinges on CEO, honestly, right? Because I mean, Enga, he does a lot of damage, but after that EQ, a lot of your usefulness, you've got to wait, right? You get an EQ and 1 ult, congrats, and that's kind of it. That's assuming everything goes well. DeVos, you need a big ult from him. Buki, he's starting to fall off a little bit. Toplop, he's only a champion when he presses R. I just think the avenues are easier for Pain Gaming right now. It seems like they've got more buttons to push.
Q from Leona's on a much shorter cooldown. Sivir, obviously, just consistent uptime with those boomerangs. Like, there's a lot that is going well for them, but the fact that Robo died did mean that they had to give up priority of this river. Now, a Cloud Soul is by no means the great equalizer, but it's definitely going to do something to give them a little bit of help, and it'll help them get away from Robo as well when they see the raid boss coming on through.
And Robo is going to get away from Buki.
Seo needs to be very careful here. Like, he is playing on the very edge.
No, I mean, Karaoke could come up, right? Tinones could go forward and get the little slow on him. That gives Query enough time to line up a Zenith Blade. Robo coming back now with 5 items. Oh, it's just an Amp Tome. Thought that was a 5th item. A little blurry. Hold on, Robo. Yeah, 1v2. They can take that. Now, Pain, they've got a window here into a 4v3. CEO throws a True Shot Barrage. Actually does a lot of work there. Stasis comes out. Between 2 worlds popped as well. Trigger in a lot of trouble. Able to backtrack, but if he can stay alive, Pain have a snowball's chance here. He is not able to get back into the fight and deal the damage they are looking for. DeVos goes in on a Robo. There's the stun. The equal not come enough. The counter-strike almost got off their perfect timing, but now the Cloud Soul will go towards Leviathan, so a 2 for 0 after all that.
Cloud Soul picked up by Leviathan. Again, does this swing the game right back into their favor? My odds are no. Trigger's still alive, still has that 6-item threshold looming over Leviathan, and if they can get on top of the Sivir, that's then when the problems start to be put to bed. But they've got 30 seconds on Robo, 15 seconds on Tinones, and they've got a Baron in their eyes, 4x4.
We have seen this movie 5 to 6 times.
You gotta hit this now. Lev, stop stalling. Get in there. Thank you.
Yeah, no, they have enough damage. I mean, they can rip through this pretty quick here. That's exactly what they're gonna do. All right, cool. An unproblematic Baron take. How far we've come in this series.
What a day. What a day. Okay.
There's your Baron power play. Now, what can they get off it? I mean, they've just got to stop the bleeding right now. I mean, thank goodness they don't have inhibs down, right? I mean, that's the one thing that Pain haven't done for all the success they've had in the last 5 to 7 minutes of this game. They have not been able to really break the game open or really break the base open, as it were. So they've got to be able to push these waves in and put Pain on the back foot. Because Pain on the back foot and Pain scattered to use, again, incredible analysis here, they're a lot weaker, but as 5, if they can keep Trigger safe with all their bodies, they're nigh indestructible because Trigger is just an absolute demon, and he's still an item up on CO. CO's going for a second tier item here.
We saw this a little bit. It just gives you an extra bit of safety, so it's going to be Archangels when it gets finished off, which, you know, gives you a shield based on the amount of mana that you've got, which, you know, as an Ezreal, it's not too shabby.
That is big. Yeah.
I mean, I imagine that at some point soon we'll see Essence Reaver Ezreal come back with the way that that item now is favourable for an Ezreal to be able to take. But this is where he starts looking for poke. And it's where Leviathan start looking for opportunities to break down that structure. But even just with Trigger hitting the wave there, Top Block took 1,000 damage, Enga took 800, and they've immediately got to back.
It's late game Sivir, baby. Like you said it 20 minutes ago, Roodood, and you were spot on. It has to be the Trigger show. Now, Robo has been an admirable co-star, to extend the metaphor, because he can just about one-shot anybody, pretty much, as this game goes on here. Trying to wrap up that final item. If he gets what I think is going to be that Leandries, it's the Mask
Rift
plus,
Maker?
is it the Codex? Yeah, no, you're right. Yep. It will be the Rift Maker. Yeah, man.
I don't know, man.
You
I
give
play
this
AD
boy.
carries and that's it. Like, I am, you know, I've not touched these mage
But
items.
Riftmaker makes more sense than the Leandry, so that's what
I
I'm going
think.
off
But
of.
they
If
found
nothing else.
Karaoke, but this is CDR Jarvan, so he should be fine.
Should be all right here. Yeah, he's on 3 very late game tank items here. Now,
Go
hang
for
on a second.
Curry.
Corey in some trouble to try to lay down
Never
some
mind,
CC. The
never
Soul
mind,
Flare is
never
down.
mind.
Because Trigger, when he can right click, keep in mind, Robo's on the other side of the map here. Devos is down dealing with him, so it's still a 4v3 for Pain Gaming. Still a favorable fight for them. Tinone's not comfortable enough to go right in there yet. Curry taking a lot of damage from CO. Devos able to finish the job there. On to Robo.
Yeah.
7-3. Man, Robo is 2-8-5, and that, look, the early game was not good for him, but that even 2-8-5 feels unfair for the impact that he's had on this game.
Yeah, it's. I mean, this is quite literally what the Baus popularized, right? Like, you just split push, you be a fiend. It's this Tryndamere playstyle almost, where you're just such a presence, such a threat on the map that you always need to be addressed. And you can't just say, okay, he's 2-8, I'm going to win this fight, because he's still got a lot of damage, he's still got a lot of burst, because all he's been doing is farming. And I mean, you think about it in a you know, more grand scale situation, maybe there's a world where Robo's able to come away and absolutely destroy this game. It's what we've seen be popularized. It's one of the real banes almost of KDA fanatics everywhere.
I would have thought that had gone out of style by now, as the Spell Shield will negate the EQ from the Syndra, scattering nobody, actually, as the Riftmaker does indeed come in. Good call, Roodood. Now at 4, yeah. Just those 4 items. Almost at level 20 there. Devost going to press his luck here. That is so much upfront damage and so much on the back end as well. Devost saying, hey, guys, don't forget about me.
And quite rightly here. Look at that death time of 50 seconds. Elder Drake spawns in about 65, so the timing on it favourable for Robo, but that's more time that he's not going to spend getting money, getting gold, where Devost here, I wonder what he's going to go back to base with. He's got a needlessly large rod in his inventory. Surely this is a Zhonya's.
Does he have enough for death cap?
I mean, it's a
Maybe
Kennen.
Zhonya's.
It's Kennen. We need Zhonya's here.
No.
And he didn't even finish his recall, so he's actually going to stay out on the map. He's got teleport, so he can spend a little bit of time getting that little bit of extra gold before that neutral objective spawns. If he can find the gold for a stasis, for a Zhonya's, then absolutely that's what he should be doing. The rest of the team take their bases as well, as Robo's about to respawn. Good toggle here from the observers. It is complete darkness for Pain Gaming, and we thought it was going to be a Zhonya's 4x4. It's straight up rip the death cap.
Wow. All right. Fair enough. And look, if he gets the ult off, he's going to do so much damage, man.
It now depends. Does Devost keep to his grudge match that he's got with Robo, or is he actually going to look for Trigger?
Yeah.
Oh, no spell shield on Trigger. Get in there!
Yeah, I wonder how many of them actually saw that. As CEO, he's kind of the furthest one forward. Surprising to nobody, terrifying to all. He's down to a third HP because he's
Just
tanking the
tanking the
dragon there.
dragon.
As
Okay.
Robo gets bonked away by Top Lop, so Counter-Strike down for an insignificant amount of time. As CEO still tanking the dragon. Now the
Ooh,
other AD
Devos is
carries tanking the
spotted.
dragon. Solar Flare down onto Devos, able to back away with the Hextech Proto Belt. And
Oh,
now Robo goes forward, gets a stun there onto Bookie. He's healing up a good amount. He goes to stopwatch as Kiddones able to pop the between two worlds there. Top Lop taken very low. Devost is down. Karioka down on the other side. Robo dodging all
it's
that
so
damage
tense.
with the counter strike. Bookie still got the world ender up. Gets in, gets the CC down onto Curry. If Enga can get in there, gets the Scout of the Week down. But Trigger is still alive. Double kill for the Paid Gaming AD carry.
TP bot
Enga,
lane.
one more EQ, and Seo could probably finish him off, but he is completely blind. CEO step too far forward. There's the EQ they were looking for. Trigger
Ooh,
can just right click
Enga.
onto CEO and send him to his doom, but Enga can't get the Q down. Still low, still fighting his Curry. It's a double kill for Enga.
He's
EQ
dodging
misses,
everything.
scatters nobody. CEO trying to hit any spell. Anyone, please. Gets the Q down. Misses another one, goes forward. It's Trigger and Enga for potentially the Elder Dragon. Probably not, but the EQ finally lands. Gets the Q down, brother. It's on cooldown. There it is. No, he sidestepped it. Gets the spell shield down. And the Zanya. Trigger getting life steal back up a little bit on the grop. And finally, the shutdown. It is the world's most insane ace for Pain Gaming. All that blood and Roodood, nothing happened.
Devos TP's back in. But he can't do anything about this. Bookie's back alive as well. This has to be Elder Drake for Pain Gaming. And Devos might actually have just overextended a little bit too much with that E going forward.
He well might have. Karioka is back. Gets forward with the Proto Belt on the edge of the slicing maelstrom. Just barely able to get Trigger. And now looking for this 1v2.
They just lost the whole series.
Devost off that wins it potentially for
Wait, look
Leviathan.
top lane.
The minions are
Double TP.
down.
We're
Double
pursuing,
TP.
baby!
Kane looking to win it here. It's a base race. They have enough damage to take this down. Between two worlds popped here. He is low, but CEO making up for his past crimes, able to pull off the base defense. Bought enough time for his teammates to show back up, and Leviathan lived to fight another day. Are you kidding me?
And the alarm rings for the end of Pain Gaming's time here. Surely 43 minutes in. These death timers have to be too long. But Trigger's up in 12 seconds. He's got no support. The Leviathan decide that they can't. They're going to the Elder. The game continues.
Despite the alarm saying it was time to go, Leviathan gonna grab themselves the Elder Dragon. Holy moly, what an unserious end to this game.
The manifest destiny of the serial 4x4, that's all I'm saying, okay? Game 2 was an absolute snoozer. Game 3, we got some good League of Legends. Game 4 is absolute cinema. This is incredible. That team fight down on the bot side, where Trigger is just... He was probably in range to auto-attack. He was just stood, dodging everything, ego-checking. Okay, let's focus. I don't want to calm down because this game is crazy and it's really fun, but let's look at what we've got overall. It is 6 full items completed for both of our marksmen, 5 full items completed for both of our top laners. I say that as Robo isn't quite there, so actually solo laners in favor for Leviathan, and quietly as well. Enga's having a really solid game on this Syndra once again, 7-1 and 6. A massive point of pride for this team in this series. Top Flop, what are you doing?
You gotta be careful there.
Robo
Just
split pushing
barely
down on that bot side as well. So Leviathan are slightly here. They're on a clock. Because he can just bypass this turret if he wants to. And he can try to just go for an end. And he might try that himself. As soon as he gets a wave past, there's only one Nexus turret there. Leviathan, you need to sort this out.
They've got a decision to make. Robo on the inhibitor. Gets in there, gets the job done, and gets the heck out of Dodge.
It's the Leviathan macro. Once again, it's failing them here quite significantly now. This Scryer
oh no
spots Robo.
He can 1v1 just about anybody, and Bookie knows that. He saw Robo and said, I'm going the other way.
I actually don't know if it saw him, I think he might have been just on the very edge of vision, but
Could
either
be.
way, he decides against it or he doesn't see him, but they get away. I mean, Robo could have just ended the game right there. So Leviathan, they need to sort these side lanes out, unfortunately, and I think that's going to be their wake-up call. Second Nexus turret is now respawning for them. The Elder wears off in 20 seconds. So Pain Gaming, they thwarted this. They've stopped the assault. They've said, actually, despite you having these double game-ending buffs, you have not ended the game. And we go back to neutrality. Gold doesn't matter. All of the important people have got all of their items. It's
6 items for everybody.
Yeah.
7 for the 80 carries.
And I think the important thing here is that Sayo has no lifesteal at this point. Like he's queuing these minions. He should be getting like 200-300 HP back every time, but any little bits of chip damage, they're sticking.
Yeah. No, absolutely. No, they are. Carioca's now got himself a GA. Robo, finally level 20. Big old wave of supers. Yeah. Crashing down in that top lane. The Leviathan push. Falters out. Peters out. Whimpers because of Robo. Got in. Got the inhibitor. Got the F out.
And, I mean, again, this is their 4th consecutive day of playing on stage. For both of these two teams, decision-making, fatigue, all of those things are going to be playing heavily on their minds. They are 4 games deep into this best-of-5 series. They've been making these tricky decisions for the last 4 hours. A slight hiccup is all that it's going to take, and you have to be so dialed in.
Yeah. No, you absolutely do. Now, True Shot Barrage. Spell shielded there by Trigger. Slow down. Ultimate pop by Tinones. Might not end up mattering.
Yeah, Curry's flash
went. The pace of this game.
Did get used there, but again, Leviathan. Devost was handling the side lane so well up against Robo. And now they've seemed to be able to navigate the Jax in a way that he doesn't have to deal with the Kennen anymore. So Leviathan not really with the options that they once had. We've got 90 seconds on an Elder. 2.5 minutes on that Baron. It feels like that's going to be the next pinch point for this game.
No, I think it will be. Neither team really playing too adventurously in any other respect. Just waiting it out, pushing their waves out. I mean, even the push from Leviathan, right? You had the momentum, you had the impetus, and you said, nope, the supers are pushing too far. You've got to deal with this. It is not worth it. If it's a fight, potentially we can take it on our terms, right? Enga can get an EQ down. Top Block can get a flash headbutt pulverize in. As Pain Gaming still staring down the barrel of their split, I should say, being over. Inhib on the top side did go down, not for nothing. Able to push back against the supers, as now that inhibitor has respawned, so the super's actually down on the top side. Elder going to be up before Baron. But I mean, the Baron doesn't really matter. The fight is going to be around Elder, and whoever takes that is going to march it down whatever lane is closest and end the game.
But again, let's see what it is that Leviathan do, because Robo's creating pressure in this top lane. He's creating pressure in that side lane. There's one more wave of supers that he's going to try to push in before that 20-second timer on the Elder elapses. There are TP wards in the river for him to go to, as Leviathan are posturing aggressively here.
CEO, my brother in Christ.
He needs to base. You can't take this fight now.
Be more careful. Yeah, he's down to 2/3 HP. He's so far forward, dude. Gotta be careful. Trigger's got an ability that can go out there as well. Top Lop lands the stun. Enga follows it up nicely. Bookie looking for a way in. Will not find it. Robo's in the top lane. Devost is dealing with him. It's a 4v4. In the mid lane, Carioca has to flash. That hurts as a Jarvan. That feels real bad. CEO does his job.
No instant access now to the Syndra. Midway's going to get pushed out by CEO here. He hasn't got a blue buff, which might not be the biggest deal in the world, but it does look actually like Devost was trying to take that one down. As now Robo, he's overextended. He's pushed forward, but the rest of LEV, they need to be careful around this dragon.
Enga goes back. Robo flashes over, then Ward hops over another wall, gets stunned up, but Robo doesn't land the counter strike, and it's over for him. He gets the sustained, or the stasis, my goodness, down, but it just delays the inevitable.
Seo's still
Devon's
alive.
gonna pick up the kill. Karioka is down. Leviathan should be able to wipe Pain off the map with this one. They get onto Trigger, and that will be it. Bookie takes him down.
It's
Leviathan
over.
able to mop it up. Robo gets caught in the top lane, and that spells doom for Pain Gaming. Leviathan with the long death timers will be able to take this game. They'll be able to put this series out of its misery and move on to the playoffs.
It took them 51 minutes, a Cloud Soul, an Elder, and a Baron as well. But Leviathan will stand firm. They are your final team making the Split 1 playoffs.
Man, oh man. Leviathan. Yeah. Who's happier? Leviathan fans or Loud fans?
That's
that
the
Pain
question.
just lost. Yeah. Based on that guy right there, it is the Loud fans. But man, oh man. Leviathan, they threw it away and they got it right back. A monstrous early game lead, an absolutely diabolical mid game, and clutched up when it mattered in the end. Pain got a little desperate. I'll ask you, Roodood, because, I mean, we talked about it. It felt like Pain had more buttons to push in that late game. So who do you put this on? Was it more of a Pain throw, or did Leviathan just find another gear?
So the final team fight is where it all comes down to, right? Robo on a side lane, he was creating a lot of pressure. And what he needs from his team right there is for them to win the 4 versus 3. Ultimately, they didn't, and that's a really big problem. Toplop had a massive fight in that backside there. Buki as well. They were all playing incredibly well. We were criticizing Seo, saying he's playing too far forward. He was actually playing perfectly. He had Flash, he had Cleanse, and he needed to play with those Summoner spells in mind to get the maximum out of that Ezreal game. And I think that he actually did that. So I hesitate to say that this was a Pain throw, more so than Leviathan, and in particular, CEO having a great performance on the Ezreal. Toplop played wonderfully on the Alistair. Go back, watch the team fight. Look at what Toplop does in that team fight, because it is genuinely gargantuan for that side. And now Pain Gaming have to live with that, but you know, Leviathan, they've got to fix some things, don't get me wrong. That was by no means
absolutely
the quick 3-0 that gives us confidence they're going to be able to do anything to Furia.
No.
That was a barn burner of all barn burners that now makes us think, okay, if the games are this hard versus Pain, how are you going to manage versus our actual playoff teams?
Yeah, against, like I said, a much more serious outfit. Furia will await this team in the next round. That starts next weekend. But hey, credit where credit is due. They took down a team that was looking like they were on the upswing, and a team that kind of, to be fair to Pain, gave them all they could handle. But that's kind of the nature of the beast and the nature of the problem for Pain Gaming and their fans, is that everything they could give them was not enough against, with the greatest of respect to Leviathan, a mediocre team here in the CBLOL.
And they are exactly that, right? They are not... They ended the split 2-5. They are not the be-all and end-all of what the CBLOL has to offer. But they get another chance to improve and develop.
And that is what they can hope to do between now and our next series. So, we'll be back next weekend. Should have had the schedule pulled up here. Let me see when we are going to be back. It will be Saturday. At the usual time. So, Saturday, Sunday, usual time, as in 8 a.m. Pacific, 1 o'clock Brazil time. And then, what time is that in the UK usually? 8 plus 9 is 4 or 5 p.m. or something. Yeah, okay. So, that'll be when we're back. Thank you guys so much for being here. Hope you had fun. That was it was entertaining. If nothing else, we had a good time. We're gonna let Roodood get to sleep. Hopefully, he finished his cereal. I'm gonna get a slightly less depressing snack than last time. Have some dinner, go to school, and yeah, thank you guys for being here. For Roodood doing prod as well. I've been 4x4. We'll see you next week.